Farrell in the back row, Alex Mitchell and captain Owen Farrell at 9 and 10, Manu Tuolangi, Joe Marchton in the midfield, Elliot Daly, Johnny May and Marcus Smith, just his second start at fullback. They make up the back three. Fiji, Aroni Maui of Saracens, Tavita Ikanaveri at hooker and Luke Tanguy at tight head prop. Isoa Nasilasila, he's in the second row with Albert Tuisui, Lakima Tangi Valu is at 6 with Lavani Botia, Bill Mata making up the back row. Frank Lamani and Vilimoni Botitu at 9 and 10. Josh Tuasoma, Wasai Nesalebu, what a centre pairing. Semi Radradra, Vinaya Habosi and Eliza Droa Sisi. The Fijian back three, the fans are on their feet all around us, and Captain Owen Farrell is preparing to kick off as the noise goes up a few levels. The referee is Mathieu Reynal of France, assisted by Pierre Brousset and Nick Berry. Reynal in his yellow top, England all in white, Fiji in their black and red and their fluorescent orange shorts. As we wait for the countdown, Chris Ashton, your final thoughts before kick-off?
Well, this is it. There is no tomorrow, there's no next week right now. He trained so long. A couple of months worth of training's gone into this. Doesn't matter what's gone previous. Just need to get through today.
Start's so important though, Ash, innit? It really is. We were talking not about 20 minutes, not about 10 minutes. This is the kickoff. The kickoff, spot on. First tackle, first challenge. Put some pressure on the opposition from the off.
The countdown clock, 3, 2 and 1, and Mathieu Reynal says to Owen Farrell, let's go to work in the quarter-final. And it's Bill Mata of Edinburgh. What a player he is and has been for club and country. On his 31st appearance for Fiji, he takes it in. And Frank Lamani, their scrum half, is preparing to clear the lines. Will he look for touch? Will he keep it in? It is the latter. And Marcus Smith is under it in the backfield, wearing 15. He links with Farrell, and straight away England putting width on the ball. Elliot Daly out to Tuolangi over the 10-metre line. Decent handling from England in the early stages. 30-odd seconds gone, 0-0 on 5 Live. Farrell on the 10-metre line finds Ben Oli's having a good World Cup, keeping Billy Vanapola on the bench. Mitchell to Farrell, who switches the playing and looking to move the ball. This is good to see. Smith, Courtney Laws throws a dummy. He had Tuolangi hugging the left touchline. All England in the opening stages on 5 Live as Farrell goes to Smith in the backfield. Marcus Smith throws a big dummy and almost gets through, but Fiji stop him just about. Curry's the first receiver. Farrell now puts a little kick across for Johnny May. That's nicely done, and May manages to take it into the 22. Go England, who have started well at the Velodrome. Farrell, who's nice and flat, finds Ellis Gens. This is a good intense start from the men in white. World Cup semi-final awaits the winner here as Ben Earl goes over the 22. Slap bang in centre field, there's Lavani Botia, penalty. That's what the Demolition Man can do. The moment England are isolated, who else but Botia? No one's got more turnovers this World Cup. He's added another one there.
Great ambition from England. Good way to start. Marcus straight away looking to shift. He had 2-3 touches just in that block of phase, so good to see England wanting to attack, but we just can't get caught in the midfield like we've done. 25 metres up to the 22, and we missed one clean, and Botia turns it straight over.
Yeah, I mean, it's I can't imagine that England have done anything other than in training, putting someone in a bright orange bib and saying that is Botia. If he is near the ball, clear him out. You can't be missing him today. Saying that, great invention to start from England.
Well, it's actually called on the pod. That's why Sam Underhill's been flown out to kind of play the Botia role as Fiji now attacking. They're going wide and they've linked nicely. And Habosi's gone streaking down the right touchline. He got a kick away. It went out on the full. Some of the Fiji fans or the neutral French fans are convinced that Habosi was caught late, but the referee and his assistants aren't bothered. It will be a line outdoors to England and Jamie George.
Nothing wrong with the tackle, but my goodness me, if that ball had landed in field, Fiji were likely to be scoring under the sticks. I think Tuisova was just on that supporting line on the inside. If the ball had landed in field, there's the danger play from Fiji early on.
England win their line out inside their own half, a few metres inside the 10-metre line, but only 5 metres from touch. England trying to get a maul going. It's crabbing across the field. Referee Reynal is happy it wasn't brought to ground illegally. Have Fiji turned it over? Yes, they have. So England not being able to get them all going there, and Fiji have it inside English territory. Lomani, wild ball out to that man Bottia, who's played a lot of rugby at centre, so used to carrying in the wide channels. Little crossfield kick from Botito. Again, an England player was through on him. That time it was Farrell. Nice kick though from Philemoni Botito, and it forces England to throw into the line out. What's that? About 12 metres from their own line.
Yeah, I mean, listen, both sides so far are playing a cracking game. Very tight defence, very competitive over the ball. Real intent for both sides to be having a go as well, actually, even off multiple phases. They're looking for crossfield kicks, little dummy and goes. They're all the options are there and people are taking them.
Does Botti to go for that option if Freddie Stewart's at the back there? Maybe not.
True.
Good line-out drill from England. Jamie George to Courtney Laws, who's taken the first couple. England setting up the maul inside their own 22, but they're getting a good drive on here, are England. Jamie George still has it at the back. He said this could be his last World Cup for England, could be his last campaign for England. 33 soon, Jamie George, one of a number of England players who feel this is something of the last dance for them at the very highest level. Alex Mitchell will kick. We'll go to Flo at the WSL shortly. She's got full time, but let's see what happens from this kick. It's nicely taken in by Semi Radradra. Tom Curry's on the floor trying to steal, but it's slowish ball for the Fijians. And yeah, good shout from Chris Ashton there, trying to test Marcus Smith, but he will take this easily, Smith. If you're going to put up a high ball, they need a slightly more contestable one. Smith takes it with ease. Free kicking, and Flo come in full time from Arsenal.
They've left it late, but Arsenal have beaten Aston Villa. Joy around the Emirates. Beth Mead back, and a first win of the season. Full time Arsenal 2, Aston Villa 1.
Thank you very much, Flo Pollock at the WSL, as Smith and England clear up nicely into the Fijian half.
I would have liked Marcus Smith's got to claim the mark there. I would have liked to speed it up, just keep it fast, keep the tempo going, but we're not. Marcus slowed the game down, purposely let everybody get behind the ball, but we want tempo in this game from England.
Well, Fiji playing with tempo there, Ashley, because they straight away threw over the line out to the on-rushing, rampaging Jos Tuisova, and they carry again over the halfway line through Mata. Now Botito, he might be through here, and he goes to throw a wild offload to Ikanaveri, the hooker, who lost it forward, but another little sign of what Fiji can do with the ball in hand.
If that had come off,
How did we even see him?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Do they train in the dark, like in pitch black? So they just feel it, or there's a sense? That would have been absolutely outrageous.
Okay. There must be some truth in that, because you can't see him. You just know that somebody, if you flick it around your back, will be coming with you. And it nearly came off.
Bottia is sort of stepped off his right, and he's running right to left, and somehow sensed that a Fijian was behind him, and he, on the way down in the tackle, tried to flick it up. It went slightly forward, unfortunately. But that's what I mean. There's the message for England. There's got to be the defence has to be so offensive, really in Fiji's face. Anything submissive, and it does. Oh, here we go.
Well, England won the free kick from the scrum, and they sped it up just like Chris Ashton demanded, but Narsileva read that really well on Joe Marchant, and now they're over the ball. They've got another penalty, Fiji. This time Habosi, the right winger, so twice they've won holding on penalties. Steve Borthwick spoke about it in the week. He spoke to us after the Samoa game, talking about Fiji's breakdown threat, and Macha Reynal has twice given the Fijians the penalty at the breakdown. If that trend continues, it's going to be tough for England, Chris Ashton.
Yeah, it was the right option to go left. It was a clear 4-on-2 down there, but Owen gave a miss pass early. It just wasn't necessary. Should have gone through the hands, just took the metres off Fiji.
Narsileva read that beautifully. You called it perfectly, Chris, in that commentary. But you can't help think that if there was someone like a George Ford in there, he would have picked the man to go through the hole rather than going for that miss ball. That Owen Farrell's got to be just a bit sharper.
An interesting tactics for England to go quickly, and now Fiji attack. Marchant's off the line to read that one, but still in the possession of Fiji roundabout centre field. Frank Lamani, the scrum half, has got Narsileva left, but he goes right instead to Nasilasila, the second row. Now Cisse, the fullback, Curry's in there trying to spoil, but there for Fiji. 8 minutes gone, 0-0 as they drive on once more through Nasila. And a wide ball has put Radradra in space, and up against Marcus Smith. I mean, Smith stands firm, but he's bounced by Semi Radradra. That is a physical mismatch. Ball at the back from Ikanaveri was loose, and it's got Fiji on the back foot a little bit. It has to be tidied up by their tight head Tanguy. England get the penalty this time at the breakdown. Tanguy caught in possession, and it's Courtney Laws who wins it. And I wonder, Matt Dawson, whether Elliot Daly goes for goal here. He was banging them over in the warm-up. You spotted it from way away.
And that, you know what, it was exactly the same spot. I don't know why Daly's not getting the ball. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh, he's going for touch. Honestly, I'm not joking, guys. He hit one from that spot, which is, what, 54 metres? It went into the stand.
So why not build scoreboard pressure there, guys? Why kick to the 22 when England could have a shot to go 3-0 up?
I don't know.
It's a clear plan. That would have been the message. It would have been clear from Borthwick. If we're in this situation, we go for the line-out.
The previous line-out drive was very impressive, so we shouldn't really be...
Well, they've gone off the top. England keeping us guessing as Farrell finds Tuolangi, who barrels into the guts of the Fijian defence. There for Mitchell. England only 6 minutes out and they get a penalty. That's very kickable. George, short ball, upended his Genge. Atoje's in there to clear. He does that really well. Mitchell to the left. Farrell wings it out. Johnny May steps. May's almost up to the line here. He's only 3 metres out. Good stuff this from England. Almost 10 gone on 5 live. Mitchell to the left. He dummies. He's almost caught. He is caught. Matters there trying to steal. I think he has stolen it, yes. So go back for the penalty advantage. No advantage from England. They'll get a penalty. They'll get at least 3, but maybe could have had a few more.
A couple of opportunities. Again, a lovely little run down the short side. Probably a 3-on-2, 3-on-2.5 possibly. Could have finished into the corner for England with Johnny May.
And not roll away.
I mean, what for both sides? They have to slow each other's ball down at the moment. It's so ridiculously quick at the breakdown that, you know, there should be tries aplenty. Any of the back rowers start slowing the ball down regularly, then you're going to be in with half a chance. But at the moment, it is lightning quick.
And England lead as Owen Farrell belts it into the stands. He said he was so disappointed not to play against Argentina. He's dreamt of playing in the Velodrome since watching his old man play here 16 years ago. He's getting his Velodrome experience. He's on the board. England are on the board. And interesting there, Chris Ashton, how Bottier, I think it was, who got penalised. So he's got 2 penalties, but that time the referee had judged he wasn't legal enough, and England lead 3-0 after 10.
Yeah, a solid start from England. I think the most impressive thing been so far is the physicality. When they are making the tackles, they are hitting Fiji back, which is forcing them to offload. We just need to maintain that.
England take the kick-off. They set up a maul outside their own 22, but they're getting some good go forward in this area. 7, 8, maybe almost 10 metres made at the maul. Now they peel away through Ellis Genge, the vice-captain. And now Mitchell will kick about 15 metres further forward than he would have done if he'd kicked straight away. So solid work from the England forwards. England lead by 3 on 5 live after almost 12 minutes. Daly was blocked, and it's a penalty, England, because one of the Fijians changed their running lines, impeded Elliot Daly, and England have got the penalty. And what do you do here, Matt Dawson and Chris Ashton? It's kickable, although far out and quite near the touchline.
You're banging that in the corner, aren't they? If they were banging it in the corner previously, they've got to do it for this penalty as well. Good drills from England. Really disciplined. Great kick-off. Solid drive up the field. Box kick. And okay, it's not going to be the most attractive for the first 50, 60 minutes, but it's so painful to be on the receiving end of it.
Bit naive from Fiji. Bill Mata just, you cannot afford in this game, in this intensity, to just give silly penalties away.
Itoje and Jamie George combine, as they've done so often for Saracens, England and the British and Irish Lions. England are 6 metres out with the maul. Mitchell is poised to go left, but he hasn't got too many men with him. Will he end up going right? England might not need to use the backs. The forwards are still going. They're driving to within 3 metres. The ball is now on the floor. Mitchell digs. He's hit hard, but it's an advantage being played as Fiji go offside. Tuolangi's up to the line in the corner and he scored. They did go down the blind side, and Tuolangi lets out a roar, as do all the England fans round us. He scampered over in the corner for his 20th test try. He scored in the semi-final 4 years ago, and he scored in the quarter-final now. Big match player Manu Tuolangi, and England lead by 8.
England, too much power, too much pace, too much strength at that driving ball. Fiji had to squeeze in. They had to try and stop the juggernaut in the white shirts. And a lovely late read from Tuolangi to switch from right to left. Bit of a cartwheel into the corner. Thanks for coming, try time.
There was nothing more in it than Manu just wanting to go and get the ball and score the try. It was that as simple as that. And that's how effective you can be when you are Manu. When you make the decision to want to go and get the ball and bump people off, you can score tries like that.
But are you already actually seeing an attitude and energy shift from the Samoa game last week?
Oh yeah, we are a million miles away from that right now. Just from the start, as Dorsey said, we're just efficient, getting out of our half, being good at what English rugby's good at, set piece, making it difficult for Fiji.
Owen Farrell from the touchline as he got this one. He's hit the post, left upright, stays out. 15 minutes gone, England 8, Fiji 0.
Yeah, I've got to say, that last 3 minutes from England, and it's a long way to get from 3 minutes to 80 minutes, but that is semi-final, final quality rugby. Very accurate, very precise, pragmatic, physical, mentally right. England on the right track.
Yeah, reminiscent of 4 years ago, wasn't it? And there's definitely been a drop-off over those last 4 years since the highs of the quarter-final and semi-final in Japan, but a lot of these guys were there. They're back for one last shot at that golden trophy that's below us. And they've made a great start to this quarter-final. England 8, Fiji 0 after 15 minutes. And just like we said yesterday, Chris Ashton, when you turned up at the last minute to
on the line.
Wales against Argentina after your brief stop home, it's the building of a score and England making Fiji chase the game that could be so important here.
Sacks the jumper.
As referee Reynal says that the maul from Fiji went to ground, but not through any illegality from England, so Frank Lamani will go to the skies. He kicks downfield, Elliot Daly scampers forward and takes it, and straight away replies with interest. Does really well not to put that out on the full Daly. That's the footballing skill of the man. And now Droa Sisi, the fullback, lamps it downfield where Mitchell takes it and wings a beauty of a pass to Marcus Smith, who is in space. What's he got, Marcus Smith? He steps, he's caught very well indeed by Tuisova. And then Fiji with a brutal counter-ruck. That's brilliant from the Fijians en masse. They have cleared England off the ball and they have a turnover and they power on through Tanitaki Valu. Lamani, nice ball out to Tangi, the tight head prop. Fiji with a little bit of momentum here as Lamani comes to the right again and finds Droa Sisi. Advantage being played as England edge offside. So Fiji will have a shot for goal or a chance to go into the corner, but they might want more as Radradra is caught on the 10-metre line. No advantage. Penalty to Fiji.
Courtney Law's just a little bit quick out of the blocks there because he knew if he was slightly isolated on that short side, needed to get out quickly to make the tackle and compete, but just half a yard. Unfortunately, very exciting in the crowd. Are loving the fact that Marcus Smith is getting the ball, but he has...
They egged him on there, didn't they?
Oh, my goodness me. I mean, lovely. Great idea, but the whole goose step, hop, skipping and jumping and all the rest of it, Marcus, you ain't got time for that today, pal.
He got lured right into the trap. If you'd have just got... It was just such good defence in the end. That's the difference between Marcus Smith and Freddie Stewart. Freddie Stewart, that is 60 metres down the other end of the pitch, which is exactly what we needed, versus Marcus ambitious to run. You just got to contain it.
Well, Fiji going for goal through their scrum half, Frank Lamani. Both scrum halves of the goal kickers in this Fiji outfit. Their starting 10, Caleb Muntz, injured, sadly, just ahead of the tournament. He played when they won at Twickenham in August, and Lamani has hit the post, then he's hit the post protector, and then Daly with a wobbly kick goes out past the 22. So no points for Fiji. Lamani misses a golden opportunity to get the Fijians on the board. Daly doesn't quite connect with his clearance kick, so Fiji will have a line out about 30 metres out from the England line, right below us here in the Velodrome. 5 live from the BBC. England 8, Fiji 0. England struggling in the cricket. That's over on Sports Extra as they chase down 285 against Afghanistan. Ellie Aldroyd will have the latest. As Tuisova is upended to some remonstrations from Fiji. Itoje then takes an intercept and he's over the halfway line and he's still going, Maritoje. What an incredible run from Itoje. Can England show some composure? May plays at 9, he could have left it to Mitchell. Dan Cole then does well. Was that a knock on by Fiji? Deliberate one as well.
Full play. We're back.
Gonna go all the way back. I think the
here,
referee's been
play.
told about a no arm tackle on Tom Curry. They're going to have a look at this.
The delay there, Matthew. It's 10 metres outside.
Yeah, I see.
10 metres outside.
Okay, so it's against England. Yeah, right.
Very, very dangerous.
Okay, we will debrief that in a second, but let's go to Ellie at the cricket.
Chris Woakes has just survived an
Number 7
LBW appeal on review. 160 for 6, though England in 32.2 overs. They need another 125 runs. Harry Brook on 64 could be the man who will get them there, but it's going to be touch and go.
Thanks, Ellie. Over on Sports Extra for ball by ball from the Cricket World Cup. At the Rugby World Cup, England are given a penalty away. Yeah, it was that tackle on Tuisova when he was upended. I mean, there's no head contact. There's no danger. I wouldn't have thought of a card, would you, Matt Dawson?
Are you kidding me? That is so dangerous, Chris.
Here it comes now, Matthew.
So dangerous. I mean, for both of them. You're going in there, no arms, head down. He could have broken his leg. I mean, honestly, that is so bad.
Okay.
It's not like sending off bad,
Happy
but
with the PK only.
It's just that it's because he's so low. You right at a kneecap.
Okay, no arms tackle, penalty kick.
That's a result for England.
It's penalty only,
No arms tackle.
so
Thank
no
you,
card
Owen.
for Tom Curry.
fine. I disagree. I think that is incredibly dangerous.
But it is a penalty to Fiji and a chance for Frank Lamani, and he missed the first, and he's just got Bottia going over to him and giving him a little pat on the back as if to say, don't worry about the last one.
He hasn't hit a kick nicely yet, even from scrum half, doing these box kicks and stuff. He's not struck it too well, so this easier kick should hopefully settle the nerves.
England lead by 8. The first 20 has whizzed by in the Velodrome. Oh, there's been a wicket in the cricket. Goodness me, England are struggling in Delhi, chasing down 285. We'll be with Ellie right after this Frank Lamani kick. The 27-year-old of the Fijian Drua has kicked some nice goals this World Cup, as is the other 9 Kuravoli. This time Lamani, he drifts that one in nicely, yep, straight through. England 8, Fiji 3. Ellie.
Chris Woakes is out, having survived that LBW, bowled by Mujib-ur-Rahman, and Afghanistan, who batted brilliantly, have done the same with the ball. 160 for 7 now. England need another 125 from 17 overs. Harry Brook still there on 64.
England struggling in their defence of the Cricket World Cup. Lost to New Zealand, and while they beat Bangladesh with a bit to spare, that target of 285 still looks a while away against Afghanistan. Ball by ball over on Sports Extra. 8-3. England have made a really fast start, but Fiji have kicked a penalty. And for both of you guys who have played in World Cup quarter-finals and huge finals at all levels of the game, when you're 8-0 up, how do you just keep that momentum going, even though you know the opposition will come back, but England just want to keep their momentum up if they can?
Yeah, it was time for Fiji to have the ball. Now it's time for England's... there we go.
Ben Earl to Joe Marchand, that was neat. Onto the 10-metre line going. A lot of numbers to the left, actually. Owen Farrell out the back to Marcus Smith. There's a slip from the Fijian defenders out wide, and that gave a chance for Smith to sidle up to the 22. 21 minutes gone on 5 live with the Velodrome. Farrell with a dummy. He's then hit hard as Bottia lurks around that breakdown. Ben Earl's a first receiver. I think Bottia's on that ball again. Is he looking for the turnover? But it's a slow rock for England. Mitchell centre field, 25 metres out. Ellis Genge wide, it goes to Johnny May, who's up the left touchline. Well tackled into touch, he got it inside to Itoje. And play on, says the referee. I thought he was going to give a line out. but
Okay,
therefore
advantage.
England and Mitchell, they've got an advantage, England. Ben Earl means business. He's to within 7 or 8. England looking for their
Advantage.
second try after that Tuolangi effort. Courtney Laws, this warrior of English rugby, he drives on, gets a nice offload to Genge, who finds try scorer Tuolangi. Elliot Daly's hugging this right touchline, but Mitchell dummies and then finds the on-rushing Laws to within 2 or 3. Can England execute? Can they show some ruthlessness? Genge to within a couple of metres. They've got numbers peeling to the left. Farrell finds Joe Marchant. Marchant could be in. He's up to the line and he's scored England's second.
Brilliant. Brilliant play. Heads up thinking. Heads up running. Heads up execution all day long.
Foul play, head contact.
England traditionally...
tackle by Fiji on number 15.
Traditionally, England are just going to go the same way.
Come
Pick and go, pick and go.
Come
No,
off.
not this time.
Tiamo. Okay, put it on the screen, please, Ben.
Yeah,
I think
it's
the
coming on
try
screen
is
now,
going to
Matthew.
stand, but there may be a head-on-head collision previously on Marcus Smith.
It's the 14, right?
Yeah, number 14.
Okay.
Oh, this is one of those
So
really
14 upright.
awkward rugby
Okay, clear
incidents.
contact to the head, so that meet the yellow card threshold. I will give a yellow card
Well, Marcus
to the
Smith has,
14 black,
on his previous
and I
challenge,
send
stepping
for
off his
free
left
review.
foot, completely
Okay.
flummoxed the Fijian winger in Habosi.
He's going to the
14.
bin here, isn't he,
Captain.
Habosi?
Yeah.
Captain.
Again,
he's
there's nothing he could do about
He's
it.
trying to tackle low because his arm's around the waist of Smith, but he's caught a
Captain, please.
heavy glancing blow head on head. So technically he's just got his tackle a bit wrong because his head is high.
No,
Which makes a
he's
little bit of a
upright.
mockery
Okay, clear
from
red contact,
yesterday
so
with Tompkins.
That's a yellow card and go for a field review.
Okay.
Well, it's just interesting how Mathieu Reynal said head contact, straight away yellow card. But Carl Dixon deciding there wasn't foul play yesterday with the Tompkins incident. But here, Chris Ashton, the officials making it quite clear that there was foul play and now they'll go through the protocol. Yellow card for Habosi. And what else is happening here, Ashi?
Well, I've just been watching the Fijian players, and some of them are struggling. They are out on their feet 23 minutes in. Some of them couldn't even get across to Marchant to make the tackle on him. They had to give up, so we're seeing some replacements.
Yeah, it looks like Luke Tanguy, the tight head, is limping off. Donge is coming on in his place, and England have had to make a replacement because Marcus Smith needed to go off for a head injury assessment. Right, so after all that, England try Joe Marchant, England conversion Owen Farrell, Habosi of Fiji in the sin bin, Smith off for an HIA, Ollie Lawrence has come on. As well as that, Luke Tanguy, the tight head, has limped off for Fiji to be replaced by Masaki Ndonge wearing number 18. But England have a magnificent foothold, Matt Dawson, in this World Cup quarter-final. 15 points to 3 as Mitchell clears England's lines.
Yeah, and are so good for it. It's been a masterclass, these 23 minutes from England, of how to play against Fiji particularly. They've stifled them in defence. I haven't seen any sort of continuity from Fiji with their offloads. They just haven't been given a sniff.
And now their line-out's malfunctioning, and you feel England can put this game to bed in the next 10. Habosi's in the bin. Fiji are 15-3 down. They're down to 14 men. And will the message go round the England camp as Mitchell puts it out on the full, so they lose territory? But Chris Ashton, is this where England needs to be saying to each other, come on, another score, and you can really wreck Fiji's spirit here?
Oh, for sure. But we're not going to help ourselves if Mitchell's not going to keep the ball on the pitch. And Fiji now looking to speed the game up just to get their offload game going and find something.
Advantage.
They've got an advantage, Fiji, yeah, and a penalty. As England, I think...
7 takes the 9.
Yeah, Tom Curry's taken Frank Lamani out.
That's annoying. Really annoying from an England perspective. Exactly what you're talking about, Chris. Momentum, next 10 minutes, everything going your way. And Tom Curry taking out, simply any player can't take the scrum half out without holding the ball. And he is furious with himself. He knows he's made an error.
Well, Fiji are going for goal. Lamani's missed one, then he's kicked one, and he's got this from just in front of the 10-metre line, so just under 40 metres. Ever so slightly to the right of the post. He'll look to draw it in from right to left. Fiji trail by 12. England lead 15 points to 3 after 26 minutes of this World Cup quarter-final in Marseille. Cricket World Cup over on Sports Extras. England try and chase down 285. Here's Lomani. I think he's dragged this across and he's missed that one. And Daly will go for touch rather than the goal line dropout. So Fiji will still have field position, but they can't be missing kicks to goal like that.
No, this is, we're top 8 in the world here. We're quarter-final stage in front of the sticks. They have to go over if Fiji have got any chance. As we saw previously in the pool stages, when Fiji got off to a great lead, kicking their goals, gave them the confidence, and the game opens up and it plays into Fiji. But if Fiji are chasing this game this early on, goodness me, they're in trouble.
Yeah, you're quite right, because building a score has worked really well for them this World Cup, especially against Australia. So no great surprise they've gone for the kicks at goal, but they just can't be missing them like that. Tuisova drives on. England looking to defend this 15-3 lead up against 14 men of Fiji, who have it through Tuisui, just short of the 22. Let's see how this Fijian attack unfolds, but there has been developments in Delhi as Nasi Lasila drives on. Fiji just going through the phases with Tuisui. Lomani to the hooker Ikanaveri over the 22. Have Fiji got a cutting edge? Have they got a thrust in attack, especially with Habosi in the sin bin? Here is Botita, who gets it away to Tuisova. That's great from Fiji. There's that offloading threat, and they've gone to within 10, and they are queuing up to carry the Fijians to within 5 now. That's much better from the men in black. They've got a penalty advantage as Lomani gets it away on the floor. Then it's been lost. Still there for Fiji. It goes through the legs, and they're going to be in, and they've scored under the post, and it's Bill Mata. And what a response from the 14 men of Fiji. Game on.
First time they've broken the line, actually. When it first time got the offload away, England couldn't stop it. And you just felt there was this rush of orange and black in those Fiji shirts, thinking, yes, this is what we want. This is the opportunity. England couldn't stop it.
Fiji, interesting their style of play, attack they had. They're going over infield, back to the short side, infield, back to the short side. And then as soon as if you let them between 2 defenders, as we did, let them punch through and get an offload away just on the back foot. Maro just really didn't need to give a penalty away there. As soon as you get a penalty, you know the relief comes on. You're like, right, we can play. And Mata just throws an audacious offload straight under the posts.
Bill Mata, the Edinburgh man, a gold medalist with Fiji, so he is used to the big occasion. And Lomani adds the 2. England 15, Fiji 10. So England ahead, but just by 5 points now. How are the cricketing counterparts getting on in Delhi? Ellie Oldroyd.
Not very well, 169 for 8. Harry Brook has gone, caught behind off Mujib, who's taken 3. Wood and Adil Rashid out in the middle together, 169 for 8. They need another 116 runs. Only 2 wickets left. If they lose here, they're not out of the World Cup, but it's very hard from this point.
Good stuff, Ellie, over on Sports Extras ball by ball. Remember, England started their 2019 World Cup slowly. We know how that ended up, but not looking good for
Just guys,
England, and we are getting comps now.
Remain a yellow card,
right? Okay.
Because there is a mitigation. Okay, so there is a step inside, so that's a mitigation. Okay, change of direction. Thank you.
Well, Naisa Levu and Owen Farrell were summoned by referee Reynal to explain why Habosi's yellow card is staying as a yellow card. It went to the bunker to be reviewed as to whether it should have been upgraded to a red, but it will not be upgraded. Farrell didn't really agree with it as Fiji are charged down as they try and exit. And they might actually be... Oh, that's gone forward, hasn't it? No, Mata Reynal's happy as Radradra takes it on this left touchline. So Fiji playing with fire a bit in their own 22. Half an hour gone, 15-10, Ashi.
No, Semi Radradra doesn't look fit to me. He's just hobbling around. He's got his right hamstring heavily strapped. He just doesn't look quite at the races.
Well, can they afford to make a replacement? They've got Habosi, who's still off with his yellow card. They've got Mankala and Yosefa Massi to cover the back line, as well as scrum half Kuravoli. Clear to touch by Lomani, and this is a nice platform for England. Matt Dawson, isn't it? Jamie George to throw. Their line has been like clockwork so far.
pick their options at the moment.
Oh, off the top, Curry, Mitchell, Farrell on the gain line. Earl, nice drill. Marchant, Daly over to Johnny May, who's stepping. Elusive stuff from Johnny May, tackled by Tuisova. But England on the 22, the forwards have reshaped quickly. Farrell throws a dummy, he is tackled by 2 or 3 Fijians, but good quick ball. Maritoje means business today. He is rocked in the tackle just as I say that, but he recycles it well for Mitchell. Daly's in a first receiver. He whizzes it out to Courtney Laws. Laws is savage. Oh, what a tackle. That is an iconic World Cup tackle from Bill Mata and friends. Not many players rock back Courtney Laws. That was shades of Mickey Skinner and Mark Session, an old reference in the World Cup, as Courtney Laws is carried out of play, and that certainly got the Fijians and the neutrals in the crowd going.
What a hit. I mean, and you know, like all good scrum halves, making big hits on massive people. That is probably one of the greatest scrum half tackles ever.
Yeah, Namani was actually in there with Botia. I didn't give him credit on first viewing. Fiji with a beautiful line-out drill. It is a helter-skelter game here in Marseille. England 15, Fiji 10. A minute left on Habosi's yellow, but, and this will annoy Steve Borthwick, the yellow card so far has been won 7-0 by Fiji as England stop them all and they get the scrum, Chris Ashton. So if they can get this pack down quickly, they'll be able to attack a backline that's one man short, with Habosi yet to come back on.
Yeah, good drills from England, just stopping it at source. Set piece have been on top. It's when the game's open that Fiji have looked dangerous, but perfect chance here for England to put a good move on. We've got Manu, we've got Ollie Lawrence, we've got options here that they can play around with a Fiji right winger down. It's got to be some space somewhere, Dos.
Well, Jamie George has got Courtney out of trouble there, hasn't he? Just wormed his way into the middle of that maul, got his grubby little mitts on it, wouldn't let go. Fabulous turnover. Courtney Law's the first man to go and give him a tap on the backside.
Penalty England at the scrum, that'll get the crowd going here. A lot of England fans here, not the raucous atmosphere of Argentina-Wales perhaps, with the Argentinian fans so loud, but the England fans in great voice. And an England fan just to our right points at the post as if to say, don't even think about doing anything but kicking this goal. Is Marcus Smith coming back on? I think he is, after his head injury assessment. They had to reshuffle the back line with Marchant going to the wing, Daly to full back and Smith into the centre, but Lawrence into the centre, but Smith does seem poised to come back on. I think he's just loitering around the touchline as Owen Farrell prepares to try and kick England into an 8-point lead in the World Cup quarter-final on 5 Live with 7 minutes to go until half-time. 2 tries for England, Farrell and Tuilangi and Marchant. Farrell converting one, kicking a goal, and he's kicked another penalty. Nicely done from the England skipper. England 18, Fiji 10, Matt Dawson.
Yeah, just knocking on the door, just chipping away at the scoreboard. That is exactly what England need to do. I think that's Fiji back to 15. Is that Habosi just strolling back on?
Habosi is back on. I'm still looking down at Marcus Smith because he's still in his kit. He's not showing any sign of going, into a tracksuit, which suggests he's passed his HIA. He's having a chat to Kevin Sinfield as well.
Yes.
So we'll just wait to see if Smith comes back on, because it has been about 10 minutes or so since his HIA, as the kick from Mitchell is charged down by Fiji, but only a little bit. It just deflects the ball rather than charges it. It means that England will have the line out edging towards the halfway line.
I mean, they're the wonderful little breaks that can make such a difference. Possession's so key. England look great from the line outs. You've got to fancy a set-piece move here from England.
Jamie George has got his line out so nicely tuned today as Bennell throws a dummy, well tackled by Botia, but at least when Botia's tackling around the legs, he can't be on his feet trying to steal the ball. So Mitchell kicks, hoists it into another beautiful sunny day here in the south of France as England try and get that ball back. I think it was knocked on by England as they rush forward, and yes, it will be a Fiji scrum, Chris Ashton, just outside the 22. England lead by 8 with 5 minutes to go until half-time.
I know we want to see a move, but right now there's just no need, is there? There's just no need. We can just 8 points clear. We can play the game down in Fijian half, and we've been so dominant once we've got into the 22. Scored 2 tries from just getting into the 22. That the chances will come. Just play the game down there.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind a set piece move, but that was isolating Ben Earl somewhat at the back of the line out. You're feeling it just needs to be one of those simple sort of shift of the emphasis, because Fiji are going to be so focused on that driving line out, then maybe you could start to use the likes of Manu and Marchant in the midfield to set up those rucks and those quick rucks, because there's going to be a little bit more space. It's just giving a bit of variety. You're absolutely right, Chris. You don't want to overcomplicate things. There's no need. But you can still shift the emphasis.
World Cup winner Matt Dawson with us on 5 Live as ever. So too, record Premiership try scorer, multiple European and Premiership winner Chris Ashton. As Fiji through Tuasova throw a huge ball out to Radradra, who is making a few metres, but he's well tackled by Joe Marchant. England try and counter ruck, and they've done pretty well to slow up Lamani's ball. Fiji now just 13 metres in from touch, but England have won a penalty as Fiji flop off their feet. And surely if you're Owen Farrell, you just keep chipping away. Another 3 would take England's lead out to 11.
Yeah, then Nayasaleva just getting lazy. Getting a bit lazy on the ruck. Needed to go and secure it, but you've got to stay on your feet. That is a cheap penalty from pretty much the same spot. Owen Farrell's just bang one over for him, so his confidence will be high. Looking for an 11-point lead, which feels getting towards that sort of level of margin where it's comfortable.
I don't know what Fiji are trying to achieve. They're shifting it wide early like that, giving it to Semi, and Semi Radrad's not looking to take Johnny May on. He just ran over him, ran at him.
It's not the threat, is it?
No.
When the ball in the air for a long time is not the threat, easy to defend. You feel that they need to threaten individually, get it through the hands a little bit more.
Yeah, and want to go on the outside, not look for contact. But I mean, happy days for England.
Farrell, 13 metres in, 30-odd metres out, another decent strike. Oh, this looks good. Yeah, nicely done, Owen Farrell. England lead by 11, and the England fans round us who have enjoyed their weekend in Marseille are starting to believe Paris may await in the semi-finals. 21-10 England lead with a couple of minutes to go to the break.
Yeah, from England's perspective, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Nothing needs to change here, boys in white.
Well, England do then just drop the kick-off, so it will be a scrum to Fiji, and there are
touch a player in front.
just about enough minutes left for Fiji to have a go at something here. It's nicely positioned for the Fijians, and there was good contest, but Courtney Laws just took his eye off it and knocked it on, maybe a bit unsighted.
It's a great kick-off, a half a metre from the touchline. Just puts everyone in indecision. You don't know if they'd line up, if they're going to go up and take it, or you have to take it yourself.
Fiji then with the scrum, with just over 90 seconds left of this first half. England 21, Fiji 10. On 5 Live Sport from the BBC, your World Cup station, 8 o'clock tonight, that heavyweight encounter between France and South Africa. Do not miss that. And all the reaction, as always, on the Rugby Union Daily. Out every single morning, all through the tournament. That's a good Fiji scrum. They might get a penalty here, you know, guys. It's then shot out, and it's taken by Habosi's back on after his yellow card, so full of energy after a 10-minute breather. Lamani comes to the right as Fiji set it up, and Lamani will look for Botia. Atoje's all over him. Benel's looking to get a turnover. He has got a turnover. He loves that, Benel. Macha Reynal happy he was legal, and that should be it for half-time for England. Maybe time to kick and have the line out. But Fiji caught, and Benel onto it like a flash. Big intervention from Earl. England win the penalty, and they will be able actually to end the half in Fiji territory with a very handy 21-10 lead.
That was a big couple of moments there, because you felt any kind of score from Fiji, from Fiji, just takes a little bit of the icing away going into half-time. But Ben Earl,
so fast.
Oh, how is it? I mean, in his body position, some would say there's no way he's supporting his body. His legs are so wide, so strong and flexible. And it was as if he only had one arm on that, actually.
Can England score once more? Because Farrell's line kick was a beauty. Another great drill. Jamie George to Laws. That man Earl finds Farrell, goes inside to Daly. Little bit telegraph, but it's decent platform for England. And a Toje on the 22 in Fijian territory. 21-10. The clock is up as Gench throws a beautiful pass out to Daly, who kicks for himself. All on the bounce. Fiji gather, and they will dot this down. They're not going to dot it down. They're going to run it out. And they do scamper it out. I'm sure Lamani will say, let's go to half-time. He does. He kicks it down the field, and that is going to be it. Marcus Smith watches it go out, and a very eventful first half comes to an end. We've had tries, we've had yellow cards, we've had plenty of points. A record number of points for England in the first half of a Rugby World Cup quarter-final. And they lead Matt Dawson by 21 points to 10. They're 40 minutes away from a World Cup semi-final.
Yeah, England, that's been a fast 40. It's flown by, so much going on. But England, I have to say, have been incredibly disciplined, incredibly focused, have played in the right areas with the right tactics against Fiji. The good times, if England come out in the second half with that mentality for 20 minutes, the good times are going to come in the last 15-20 for England, because Fiji will not be able to compete at that intensity, that ferocity for 80 minutes. They just won't be able to.
An 11-point lead, not a bad thing to have in a World Cup quarter-final. England leading Fiji. There was a marvellous moment, Chris Ashton, in that match when Courtney Laws, you don't see that very often. He normally doing it to other players, isn't he? Was bundled,
for sure.
Yeah, well, he was bundled into touch by Frank Lamani, among others, the Fijian scrum half. What's it like when you're in that moment, right? You've got a couple of Fijians bearing down on you like that, because I imagine you've been in that position.
Oh no, I wouldn't run at them, Sonny. There's a difference. I try and run round them. But two phases before that, they absolutely smashed Marrow as well. So we're not going to go through them. We need to fit where it's worked and where we've got success. Is yes, the lads in the middle are doing the hard yards, but finding the edges, just finding little gaps out wide with Marchant and Tuolangi. We've just found an edge enough to put them in enough chaos and get the tries. That's what we have to do. Unfortunately, as always, the forwards have just got to wear a couple.
Absolutely. We're going to hear from Lionesses, Alicia Russo and Beth Mead after the news here on 5 Live. An extended news on this occasion with Nick Hatton.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thank you, Sonia. Good afternoon. The US says Israel is turning back on the main water supply in southern Gaza. The Israeli government had come under increasing pressure after cutting off the supply when it issued an evacuation order from the north ahead of an expected ground offensive. Our chief international correspondent Lise Doucette is in the southern Israeli city of Ashkelon.
That is very interesting, because that's another piece falling into place. When Israel gave that evacuation order, telling more than 1 million Palestinians they had 24 hours to basically pick up and go, at a time where going means on roads that are strewn with glass and rubble, where whole streets are cement and ash, and where the bombardment is continuing. And of course, we've been hearing the reports that once they get to the south, they wonder, where can we stay? Where is safe? The fact that the water has gone on, that must have come under huge pressure. That may signal that the south is being prepared as a possible relatively safe area, although the bombardment is continuing there. But it sounds as though they are trying to they're trying to divide the strip, to go through it piece by piece, rather than everyone on the run with nowhere to go.
That's Lise Doucette in Ashkelon. Well, in the last half an hour, the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has been speaking after meeting Egypt's president in Cairo.
It was important to make it very clear that the United States has Israel's back. We will stand with it today, tomorrow, and every day. And we're doing that in word and also in deed. I spent time with Prime Minister Netanyahu to go through the needs that Israel may have to make sure it can effectively defend itself. And you've already seen a lot of that assistance moving forward. And that's a conversation that'll continue. Israel has the right, indeed it has the obligation to defend itself against these attacks from Hamas and to try to do what it can to make sure that this never happens again.
More than 1,400 people are now known to have been killed in Hamas attacks on Israel last weekend. More than 2,400 have since been killed in Israeli bombing raids on Gaza. Hamas has been designated as a terror organisation by many Western governments, including the UK. Ehud Barak is a former Israeli Prime Minister, and he says a ground offensive would have one key aim.
It's to make sure that any military capability of the Hamas will be erased. We were happy if it could have been completed from the air, but it cannot. You have to set boots on the ground to make sure that it really happens, and that's the reason for this wide-scale operation.
Earlier today, people in northern Gaza were given another 3 hours to move south safely while Israeli attacks continued. But hundreds of thousands of people remain. The General Secretary of the Palestinian National Initiative political party, Mustafa Barghouti, says the situation in Gaza's hospitals is dire.
Children are dying around the clock because of lack of electricity. Children who are in incubators will die or have died because there is no electricity. Israel is fighting not Hamas. Israel is fighting all the Palestinian people. And the vast majority of people killed there are Palestinian civilians, including children and women.
Well, the UK's Foreign Secretary James Cleverly says they've not been successful yet in opening the Rafah crossing into Egypt to help British nationals leave Gaza. Mr. Cleverly says he's working with Israel, Egypt and other political voices in the region to open up the crossing. Jan Egeland is the Secretary-General of the Norwegian Refugee Council.
It will take time to have the corridor established, but it will come. I'm confident of that. First from Egypt. I hope also Israel will understand that to starve 1 million children will look very bad for Israel in the history books. We are we're trying to find out how to organize the convoys over Rafah into Gaza, and then also how to receive and distribute supplies, but also to evacuate the wounded, the sick, into neighboring countries. The hospitals cannot take them.
Clashes have also intensified on Israel's northern border with Lebanon. Our correspondent Anna Foster's there.
Hezbollah, based in the north, militant group very allied with Hamas. Hezbollah are also, like Hamas, a prescribed terrorist organisation by various countries around the world. The big question now is how much Hezbollah will actually decide to attack Israel, really to sort of make a show of solidarity with Hamas. And that is why these last few days we've seen these exchanges of fire across the border. This morning we saw Hezbollah fire an anti-tank missile across towards the village of Shtula.
And we'll keep you updated on the situation in the Middle East during 5 Live Sport. You can also head to the BBC News website and app for the latest. Elsewhere, Vladimir Putin claims Russian troops have made gains during an offensive against Ukrainian positions. Ukraine admits fighting has intensified around the city of Avdiivka in the east of the country. And Luton Airport says it's unlikely any vehicles will be salvageable following a massive fire that caused a car park to collapse. Up to 1,500 vehicles were in the car park.
I'm Mark Chapman and welcome to the Monday Night Club. Jim, after last week's show, please cut out all the in-jokes and banter and talk about sport. Honestly, it's really poor.
It turns out if you shout at a kid through a megaphone, they do what they're told.
You absolutely destroyed me.
Chris, when you joined Birmingham, what made you pick number 40?
You can't miss the start of something on iPlayer, Chris. That's not how it works.
This could be a long 2 hours.
What have I got myself in for?
The Monday Night Club.
I hope Jim, who emailed about last week's show, is listening to this. Join us Monday nights from 7 on 5 Live, BBC Sounds and BBC iPlayer.
Every game live. Rugby World Cup 2023 on 5 Live, Radio 5 Sports Extra and the BBC Sport website with Sonia McLaughlin.
And there's a hum around this stadium, the Stade Velodrome, as these England fans take in what they've seen in this first half. 2 tries to England, Manit Tuilangi and Joe Marchant getting over. England leading Fiji 21-10 at the break, and we will be back for second half commentary. So it seems England's rugby players certainly taking a positive steps, aren't they, towards a potential Rugby World Cup semi-final. By contrast, England's cricketers are on the cusp of what could be a costly defeat at the Cricket World Cup against Afghanistan. Ellie Oldroyd.
Absolutely, this has got all the signs of one of those great World Cup upsets. England 205 for 9. They need another 79 runs from 62 balls. And this has been, it's been a terrific performance by Afghanistan. You've got to say that. First of all, if England lose here, they won't be out of the World Cup. But Alex Hartley, who's been watching this game in Delhi, England is supposed to be all about the positivity. But this has been, apart from Harry Brook, a pretty negative performance.
Yeah, it has indeed. You know, as you say, Harry Brook was great with the bat. He showed real maturity, getting 66, but, you know, dismissed quite softly along with a lot of other England batters throughout the day. And we talk about England and this England team and how they want to be positive. They want to always take the positive action, almost run into the danger. Well, again, in this World Cup, they haven't done that.
Afghanistan batted really well, particularly at the top of the over. They put on 114 for the first wicket. But what have you made of their performance with the ball?
Yeah, Afghanistan, they were brilliant with the bat. England poor with the ball, but with the ball we knew it was always going to be tough for England with their quality spinners that they've got. You know, Rashid Khan and Majib was great at the top of the order. I think they just look like a team that they know their strength is within the ball or with the ball, and they know how to rotate their bowlers. They've been brilliant today.
They have indeed. Mujib's taken 3 wickets. Rashid Khan, the brilliant leg spinner, has taken 2. That's another 4 for England, but it may be coming too late in the innings for them. Sonia, if they lose this, which they almost certainly will now, England, they will probably have to win 5 out of the 6 remaining games they've got in this long group stage. It's 9 games in the group stage, but they have still got to play South Africa, India, Pakistan, Australia, Sri Lanka and the Netherlands. So 5 wins out of 6, definitely they would need to make it through to the semi-finals. So they're going to have to do it the hard way, England. 213 for 9 currently.
Yes, after losing New Zealand, Ellie, they didn't have a lot of wiggle room, did they? So that defeat, if they went, as and when it happens against Bangladesh and Afghanistan, not what they wanted at all. Thanks, Ellie, very much, Ellie. We're going to get some reaction to the earlier game in the Women's Super League. Arsenal scored twice in stoppage time to beat Aston Villa 2-1 at the Emirates. Alicia Russo with the winner, thanks to a little help from Lioness Beth Mead, back after 11 months out.
Into Mead. Russo! Her first WSL goal for Arsenal. She might have just saved Arsenal. Set up by their returning number 9.
How does it feel, Alessia, to get your first goal for the club?
Oh, absolutely buzzing. First goal, but also the win, and here in front of the fans, I think we really needed them today, and they come out in full force every time. So it's tough. This league's tough. You've got to dig deep to get results, and we definitely did that today.
How does it feel to have Beth Mead back on the pitch as well?
Oh, absolutely buzzing. I think you can see by her reception here today is exactly how we feel as players. She's a top talent, and it's exactly what you want coming back. She's so exciting, and I can't wait to play with her. It's been obviously a long injury, been a tough injury, but the fans here today are incredible. Got a little bit emotional running on the pitch, but amazing to be back, so amazing. I hoped I wasn't too rusty coming out today. Got myself an assist in Alessia's important goal, so I'm happy with my job I've done. Mentally and physically being tortured throughout, it's been a long one, and I've had amazing teammates, fans, family, friends, everyone around me to get me through, so it's why you play today, to feel as special as this, especially at the Emirates, a place where I did my ACL. It was nice to get this game out of the way, get that done, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
few of the replacements on the pitch here at the Stade Velodrome, and the crowd enjoying, or maybe not, depending on your persuasion, Kiss Cam, which is currently entertaining them at half-time. Elsewhere in the WSL, it finished Manchester United 1, Leicester 1. Manchester City beat newly promoted Bristol City 5-0 to go top of the table. It's currently Brighton 1, Tottenham 1 at half-time, and it's goalless in the Merseyside derby between Liverpool and Everton. Now, Rangers have a new manager. Philippe Clement has signed a 3.5-year deal excuse me, at Ibrox. Michael Beale was sacked earlier this month. A reminder that Wales' Euro 2024 qualifier against Croatia is on Sports Extra tonight. They need to win to have a realistic chance of qualifying. Kick-off in that one is at 8 o'clock. We had the draw for the first round of the FA Cup earlier. A few ties catch the eye. Cray Valley Paper Mills, now they're of the 8th tier, go to Charlton of League One. Horsham, also in the 8th tier, go to Barnsley. They're also in League One. And away from football, after Wigan won the grand final yesterday, the London Broncos are the latest team to join the Super League. They came back to win against Toulouse Olympique to be promoting, at which point Chris Ashton gave me a fist pump. What's that about?
Warriors.
Oh, you are the Wigan Warriors. I thought you were pleased the London Broncos have, have been promoted. England, that's right, England. Fiji are back on the pitch in those distinctive orange day-glow shots. Oh, Ellie, it's all over in Delhi. That rhymes, isn't it?
It is, yes. Afghanistan have won by 69 runs, probably the greatest night of their World Cup history. Jonathan Trott, former England opener, masterminding the victory for Afghanistan. England all out for 215. Afghanistan win by 69 runs. England now have a week to go, or 6 days to go, before playing South Africa, and they're going to have to win pretty much every single thing from this point onwards if they're going to make the semi-finals.
Yeah, that's one of those that will go into folklore. A cricket upset in the World Cup. What will we get one here, I wonder, with England leading Fiji by 21 points to 10. What can the Fijians do, Chris Ashton? Chris Jones, sorry.
And Chris Ashton will be involved as well. And Matt Dawson.
And Matt Dawson.
Botita kicks off. So far, so good for England. England 21, Fiji 10. England are 40 minutes away from Paris, from the Stade de France, from the semi-finals, and a meeting with South Africa or France, who play tonight at that same stadium. But here in Marseille, England's 2 tries to Alanya Marchand, both centres, and Farrell's unerring boot have helped build England's score. As Lamani kicks towards opposite number Mitchell, who takes it comfortably, and Chris Ashton and Matt Dawson. How important is the first score in this second half? Okay, England can manage it, Ashley. How big an uphill task would it then be for Fiji as Mitchell clears downfield?
Yes, definitely. Fiji noticeably out really early. They didn't have long in changing rooms at all. They wanted to get out here. Seems like the message has hopefully been sent home that they need to be better this second half, but England completely in command, and we need more of the same from them.
Yeah, first score. I mean, it's crucial. Okay. Yeah, totally crucial now.
Back on.
Just to put a lid on it, take all the momentum, energy, adrenaline out of the Fijian side. England really need to graft hard. Defence or attack, get themselves in a position to drop goal, a penalty, anything will do.
Well, Fiji won the line out, then it looked like the ball went to ground, but the referee was happy as Abosi drives, and then it's ripped by England in the tackle. That was nicely done. Didn't quite see who it was for England.
Ball is here, available.
They then have gone to ground, they've got the ball. Mitchell is being told to kick by Marcus Smith. Might have been Owen Farrell, you know, who did the ripping work, and so Mitchell does kick a little bit too far, that one, and that is going to be taken comfortably by Drasisi, the fullback for Fiji. Okay. And he kicks downfield, free kicks, hasn't gone for touch. A lot of fans still making their way back to their seats. A lot of England fans perhaps feeling quite calm and confident with this 21-10 lead. Lamani, though, takes it just inside his 22 and switches with Botitu, who steps past Earl, well tackled then by Smith. England are on that ball trying to steal, but there for Lamani, who goes to the right, and to Asoba, who kicks. There's just a frantic nature to Fiji's play, which will be warmly welcomed, I'm sure, by the England coaches and their players, including Owen Farrell, who hoists a kick that is taken by Radradra just inside the 10-metre line. Fiji territory there for Lamani, goes back for Botitu, who then flips it to Drasisi.
There's going to be a check here on Owen Farrell, high tackle. For sure.
Well, Daly found Smith. They're still checking it then in the TMO bunker, Ben Whitehouse, but I think they're happy as Farrell prods a little kick through for May, who's quick. That might just dribble out of play. No, brilliantly done from Radradra to scoop it back, and Fiji keeping it alive. It is hectic stuff in the velodrome as Daly scampers over the halfway line. Good step, Elliot Daly, and he goes over the 10. He's still going, Daly, almost up to the 22. Mitchell with 3 England players to the left. One is Farrell, finds Ben Earl, his Saracens teammate, who steps and does well to go inside the 22. Bottia's on that ball, but he's been penalised, Bottia.
On the ground first.
He came away with it. He was convinced he'd won the ball in the breakdown, but Mathieu Reynal says he was illegal, and Farrell has a chance either to prod England into the corner or to kick the lead out to 14 points. What do you do here, Matt Dawson?
Personally, I would kick the goal, but I don't mind going to the corner either, given where England are. And that's a field decision. And England's so confident with their line out, with their driving maul, they would say, they would fancy this to be 80% success rate of scoring points, either try or another penalty. Brilliant position for England to seal the game.
To the tail, George goes. Well, that was tight with Bottia's penalty, but it went England's way. Can they capitalise? They're only 5 metres out there. Moore looks well set. George has it at the tail. Still Jamie George. He's driving through. He could be driving England into the semi-finals. Still Jamie George. He's going to be stopped a metre or two short. And this might end up being a Fiji scrum. If it doesn't come back on the England side, it doesn't. It is a Fiji scrum. So Fiji survive, Ashi.
Fiji are hanging on here. They're all over the place before this line out. They've managed to stop that and get a penalty now.
He slapped him.
Ellis Genge.
Slapped him. Don't holding.
What are you doing?
No, don't holding the jersey.
Holding on
I don't want you
to Lamani, the scrum half there, as if he's sort of giving it the old school forwards bully. What are you thinking?
We already checked it.
So, all happening.
No full play.
Semi Radradra thought he was hit high by Owen Farrell. They checked it and nothing was illegal according to the officials. Then England was stopped at the maul, so it's a scrum to Fiji, but some afters from Genge, much to Farrell's dislike. It's a penalty to Fiji and against England. And Owen Farrell, you heard maybe over the referee's mic saying he slapped him, thinking that it was Fiji who were the instigators of the scuffle. But penalty Fiji, not the best line kick from them, but it will be a line out to Fiji just outside the 22.
And how many times have you said that, Chris? It's not the best kick, or it's not. Yeah. They're the little details from Fiji that make a huge difference. To have a line out 25 metres from your own line to being in more of an attacking zone is huge.
And then England gets stuck into the line out through Chesham, and Atoje cleans it up nicely. And England have good field position here through Mitchell. And Earl out the back to Farrell, who kicks, who's onto that, hasn't quite worked. A couple of England players had their running lane closed. Boos from the Fiji crowd, Fiji supporters in the crowd, and the neutrals. But England attack through Smith, and now Marchant, who's stepping. He's caught well by Jos Tuasova. Up to the 10-metre line, though, go England and Marchant. Farrell on the gain line, nice ball out to Earl. There's a bit of a zip in this England attack. Up to the 10-metre line, good quick ball for Mitchell, who whizzes it out to Farrell, who throws a nice ball to Daly, hugging the left touchline. He's tackled by Mankala, who's on that right wing. But still with England, who lead by 21-10 at the Velodrome. Attacking round the halfway, but after a few phases, I think they'll go to the boot now. That's how England often do it. And Farrell goes with a kind of spiral bomb. It's a nasty one for Radradra, who does take it nicely. And he offloads to Potito, who gets a brilliant ball away almost to Naisalevu. And maybe Fiji will decide if they're going to have any chance in this quarter-final. They might have to throw caution to the wind. England have Fiji still pegged back in their own territory with this 11-point lead, 7 minutes into the second half. And Chris Ashton, that's clearly a tactic from England. Go through a few phases. If it's not working, they go to the boot.
Yeah, and that's fine. I think the level we're at now is the right thing to do, but you've got to get your chase right. You cannot allow Semi to half get an offload away and be tearing up the field 50 metres. Owen's kicked it out on the full.
Owen Farrell kicking out on the full, so will be a line out to Fiji. And they do have now, Matt Dawson, a handy set piece at the line out. on England's 10-metre line.
Yeah, you feel Fiji have just got to mix it up a little bit here with their line-outs. Do they cut their line-out? Do they go to 4 or 5 man? They've got to make England think, because at the moment England are happy to send up a couple of the towers in that line-out. If it's Chesim Itoje, great ball off the top from Fiji.
Tuisova out the back, but it didn't quite work. Mankalovs though got away, and over to Radradra on the left touchline, and he stormed into the 22, and he gets an offload into Drasisi. Lamani now, forward got in the way, and Curry goes to intercept. He definitely waited to catch it, so will just be a scrum. Loose.
First knock on.
Ball again from a second knock on, this time by Fiji. And it will be a Fiji scrum, 22 in England's own half. 21-10 England. Chris Ashton.
Just a bit frantic. England have kind of instigated it being all frantic with the unnecessary little chip, and then giving the penalty away on Fiji's line. Just calm it down, allowing them to bump tackles and get on the outside. We just need to bring control back.
It's so easy, isn't it, to be up here giving advice on decisions that need to be made, but you can't lose focus of where you are in the game that you're in. You're 11 points up, which is fabulous. Get to 14, make it really awkward. Take the 3 penalties, take the 3 points from the penalty, take the drop goal, regroup, frustrate your opposition even more. And I know ordinarily England drive that over, but save that for the last 20 minutes when Fiji have got nothing left. Bit more pragmatism, I think, from England.
If you're just joining us on 5 Live from the BBC, a shock in the Cricket World Cup. Afghanistan have beaten England by 69 runs. So England faltering in their Cricket World Cup title defence. More reaction from 6:30 onwards here on 5 Live as we build up to the final quarter-final in the Rugby World Cup. France, South Africa, that's at 8 o'clock with Steve Crossman and the team at the Stade de France. 50 minutes gone here in Marseille. England 21, Fiji 10. England half an hour away from the semi-finals. And given their preparation, given their form coming into the tournament, that'll be some achievement for Steve Borthwick and his side. Tuisova though, as Fiji attack through Naisalevu, now great offload Botitu. This is why Fiji cannot be written off, but they lose it forward off the foot, and then I think they've got it back, have they, or is that with England? England have scrambled well, and you saw great go forward from Fiji with Tuisova and Naisalevu, but their accuracy deserting them. And that's part of the reason why England lead by 21-10. They've just done a lot of little things that bit better than Fiji.
Tom Curry and Ben Earl just outstanding. On the ball so quickly. It's giving Fiji no option.
It's like they've sensed that Maturay now is happy for a contest. A couple of early penalties went Fiji's way, and England are giving as good as they're getting at the breakdown, and that's decent from Mitchell. Clears up almost to halfway as England snuff up that Fiji attack.
I mean, Fiji is still dangerous. They're still breaking the line. They're still creating go forward, but they've got to win those fast rucks. And you know, we've all mentioned the fatigue and the tiredness of this Fiji side. They're being beaten to those breakdowns by Earl, by Curry. So as many breaks as Fiji are making, they're just losing the ball at the breakdown. It counts for nothing.
They've won the line out. Sam Matavesi is on as a replacement hooker. They've also got Donge on earlier on in the game. The tight head as England turn it over from the maul. This is going really well for England, isn't it? England 21, Fiji 10. Mitchell's kick has got high, not necessarily that far, but Mancala's lost it, and England now have it from turnover ball. Oh, they've gone back inside. Farrell to Genge. There were numbers to the right, but that's a really good carry from Ellis Genge. Centre field for England. 30 metres out, loose. Jamie George does well. Now Farrell, that's a better pass out there to Marchant, who kicks for Johnny May across scrums Drasisi, and he goes up the touchline, and England will get the line out, and Johnny May punches the air. Energy's all with England. One more score perhaps could settle this quarter-final, and they've got a great set-piece opportunity here, 15 metres from the Fijian line.
Lick at their lips, England now, all of them. Strolling over, taking their time, slow it down. Right, what's the banker ball here? Jamie George.
5.
You probably would want to go to your Saracens colleague in Maro Itoje just to make sure.
Everton lead in the WSL, the Merseyside derby. Liverpool 0, Everton 1, edging towards half-time as George finds Itoje. 12 minutes into the second half here as Daly comes on a good ball from Farrell. 6 metres out, England. Can they score a third? Driven on once more to within 5 metres by the England forwards. Mitchell comes to the right, Curry out to Smith, who's caught, but no, a penalty England. Smith was caught, he lost it. Fiji thought they were away, but they were offside, and surely Farrell kicks the goal to take England 14 points clear as Chris Ashton nods his head.
Yeah, for sure, we've got to take the 3 here. Fiji, you just never know when the ball's on the floor. You think they're going to break away or something's going to come of it. We've got to get 2 scores ahead, 2 tries. Just make sure, calm it back down, bring it all back under control. We go for another set piece in the kick-off.
Yeah, sensible choice. As much as the crowd maybe don't like it, they are not on the pitch. They have not just slogged it out for 55 odd minutes to be messing around with any more risks. This is 14 points, crucial. More pressure on Fiji. They've got to try and score 2 converted tries. They have to throw the ball about, and at the moment England are lapping it up in defence.
They just seem like they could score at any point. That's why it's essential to get ahead here.
And Farrell edges England further clear. England 24, Fiji 10. 54 minutes gone at the Velodrome. England have more than a foothold. It's a proper buffer. 14 points clear. And England just need to see their way to Paris surely now, Matt Dawson.
They're certainly in the car. Whether it's the driving seat or the passenger seat, they are in the car.
As Laws takes the kick-off and sets it up just outside the 22. Can Fiji score next? It's just not quite gone for them, has it? In a variety of different ways, but England's control of the game has been really solid as Mitchell sends up a high kick, and England won that kick battle. George to Laws. Laws moves it to Farrell. Farrell puts some width on it to Tuolang. England attacking from their own half. Martin, he's got to put May away, and he does, but May had to stretch a bit. Naisalevu marked him well, and he works his way back in field, Johnny May, and sets it up just short of halfway. Slow ball for England, but it is still ball for England as Mitchell finds Earl. Really growing into this England back row, Ben Earl, after a kind of up and down start to his Test career, mainly off the bench, then lost his place, but back starting World Cup knockout games as Farrell goes crossfield to Daly, and I think that might have come off a Fiji hand, Drew Assisi. What's going to be decided here? They're still waiting to get a call. Oh, it's a knock on into touch by Fiji, so England will have a choice of a scrum or a line out.
Again, wonderful position then for England. You just called it there on the comms, Chris. Every bounce of the ball, every high kick, even whether it's a good kick, bad kick, seems to go towards England. You've got to make the most of those opportunities, which England are, but they are definitely getting the bounce, which is great.
What do you want from this line now, Chris Ashton? It's right below us.
It's a Fiji ball.
It's a Fiji ball.
Yeah, Elliot did touch it. They changed it.
They've changed their mind. So I imagine you want England to get up and compete at the line out.
Just keep putting pressure on.
Matavesi prepares to throw. The voice of Chris Ashton, former England winger, the greatest try scorer in Premiership rugby history. And the star of the Rugby Union Daily this World Cup, which will be out first thing in the morning. Debriefing events here and at the Stade de France later. That monumental showdown between South Africa and France on this epic weekend of World Cup quarter-final. Fiji have the ball, but it's slow ball. The England fans in fine voice as the sun just starts to set. 6:20 local time in Marseille. Another gorgeous day on the south coast. Daly takes the kick from Lamani and gets away, showing good strength, having a decent solid game, Daly. And again, Farrell goes inside to Smith. We did wonder whether there were numbers outside. Smith a little bit under pressure there. He has got it back. And you get the sense that Farrell doesn't necessarily want to be playing too much rugby from this part of the pitch. And Laws just sets it up for his team. And Mitchell will kick. It takes ages over this. And the rest allowing him taking a while, isn't he? And Mitchell clears it downfield. Where Drew Assisi, always composed at fullback, he goes infield to fly half Botitu, who then sends a wild ball out to Botia. This is 7 stuff as Bottia runs into Daly and flirts with this right-hand touchline. Just short of halfway, change to scrum half as Kurivoli comes on for the flying Fijians, as Botitu goes out to Radradra, who may have come into the centre, and he gets a nice offload away to Matavesi, gets a brilliant offload away to Radradra, who throws a wild pass out to Naya Salevu. He's gone over halfway. It is really breaking up. Fiji. And maybe that's the way Fiji wants it. Oh, but it's another penalty to England as Fiji cross, and Fiji are getting nothing from the ref. It's all going England's way, and you can hear the boos from some of the neutrals and the Fiji fans in the crowd.
12, obstruction.
As Josh Tuasova is called out for obstruction, and this is actually really in Owen Farrell's range all of a sudden.
Yeah, why not? Why not? And you know, and also
and there is an obstruction. You can have
the leadership of this team. People like Owen Farrell, even the messaging from the touchline should be coming on to say, we have this game under control. Go for posts, run the clock, save the energy. You are going to need every single ounce this week to compete against either France or South Africa. So just don't go down that unnecessary road of trying to, continue to maul and drive, and all of a sudden you're taking another minute out of the game, knock 3 points up, everyone's having a little bit of a rest.
It's a really good point, because it's a tight turnaround to the semi-final from Sunday to Saturday, 6 days, and you do feel France and South Africa is going to go to the wire, and they are going to take lumps out of each other. So England have got to get the job done first, but if they can get it done and not be pushed completely and utterly to the end, that will stand them in good stead this week. The shot clock is ticking down quickly. Farrell got caught out in Lille against Samoa, but he's going to get this one away. 24-10 for 27-10. That looks nice from Farrell. Has he got the distance? No, it drops just an inch short of the crossbar. Naya Salevu takes it incredibly and drives out. He's then brilliantly tackled by Tuolangi. Oh, the show of physicality is just awesome to behold, as Fiji have it just outside their own 22. It's turnover by England though. Courtney Laws is in there. Fiji couldn't resource their ball, and now they scoot to the left. Mitchell is half tackled by Kurivali, but not before making a few metres. But Fiji this time get the penalty. England isolated, and Fiji winning the chance to go back into English territory. Chris Ashton.
Stop.
Oh, something's broken out here with Bottia prominent. Curry 2. As always, nothing really happens in these I
don't know.
These altercations.
I think Bottia threw a couple.
Oh, do you think? Well, that would definitely change it.
Couple of slaps. I don't think they were punches, but there's certainly frustration. We'll be taking a bit of time to work this one out. Of course, Owen Farrell is right in the middle of it, trying to influence the referee, but we'll be looking at a replay a couple of times. That just shows the frustration, doesn't it, that Fiji are going through.
Do you want me to reverse the PK? Okay.
Well, right now, Liz.
Okay, 7.
Well, let's see. Is Bottia? I don't think he's put a hand in Curry's face, and that's going to interest the officials. It really. I'm not sure if he's pushing Curry away to say get away, or whether there's anything more forceful. And yeah, the referees decided it was the former, so no reversal, still a Fiji penalty, still a chance to go into English territory.
Aside from that, before this happened, Courtney Laws, I reckon he's had 4 or 5 turnovers. He has put one hell of a shift in so far today. Any tough carries that have been needed taking, he's been the man to do it, and he's been all over the breakdown.
14 points the gap as Danny Kerr comes on for Mitchell, as Fiji throw long from Matavesi to Tuasova, and now Mata drives the try scorer. Snap bang in centre field. Great attacking position this for the flying Fijians as Matavesi comes on appeal. The Northampton hooker. Really good ball in hand and getting it right at the line out too. 24-10. A Fiji try to make this really interesting. Botitu out to Drasisi, but it's been knocked on by Fiji, and look at England's celebrations. Again, Matt Dawson, you feel Fiji are doing plenty of stuff right, then they make a mistake to give the momentum initiative back to England.
Well, they're obviously wanting to play this very fast, phased game, and for the first 10 or 15 minutes, brilliant, because everybody's in position. But if you go 2 or 3 really quick phases, you've got to be so fit to get on the far side to go and then support your ball carriers, support those line breaks, support those wider rucks. And England are just simply too quick, too fit, and too strong at that third, fourth, fifth phase at the moment.
Yeah, I can't agree anymore. England are just being a nuisance, really. Fiji get any sign of slightly getting go forward, it's almost too fast for them to get round for the third, fourth phase, and England are just, the back row of England has just done a hell of a job at the breakdown of slowing any sort of ball down that Fiji have.
Hour gone in Marseille, 5 Live from the BBC. Rugby World Cup quarter-final action. Already New Zealand and Argentina are there at the expense of Ireland and Wales after a dramatic day yesterday here in Marseille and in Paris. As another change for England with Joe Marler coming on for Ellis Genge. And as we touched upon, Danny Kerr is on for Alex Mitchell. Kerr scoring that winning try in Lille last weekend against Samoa. 20 minutes away, England, from the World Cup semi-final, as Kerr prepares to feed England's scrum, which is solid. This will be one for Earl. It's actually wheeled around, and Fiji have been penalised. Fiji penalised for their wheel. They try to put pressure on the England scrum, and that's a pressure reliever for England, as Joe Marler makes an immediate difference at the break, at the set piece.
Yeah, super solid. Super solid. And even though replacements have come on, you can see the fitness of this England team really coming through. England will, and England's coaches will be wanting to protect their team ready for next week, because it's been a pretty darn good performance so far, and they will want to build on this going into what is of course going to be stiffer opposition up in Paris.
24-10 to England as Jamie George prepares to throw. He goes to Itoje. Another lovely drill from George and Itoje, but England have given a penalty away. They've obstructed at the line out, blocking Fiji. And Maturé now this time has given a penalty to Fiji, who have conceded, I think it flashed up, 10 penalties already in the hour. They'll be disappointed with that, the Fijians. And also, just you touched upon it, Matt Dawson, could have gone much deeper into the 22, couldn't they? That's sort of 25 metres out now. It's very different to 15.
Yeah, and they've pre-called it for a four-man line-out to try and break it up. But you've got loads of defenders in the midfield for England. Makes life so much more difficult.
Kuravoli at scrum half. It wasn't the greatest ball for Fiji. Penny Ravai, the replacement loose head, drives. That's good power from Fiji. Mata was prominent. There for Kuravoli, and now Botito, and now Naya Salebu, the skipper, almost up to the 22. Big collision there, just short of the 22. Ravai again, but England's defensive work on the gain line, Tom Curry prominent, is impressive. Kuravoli, Botito, Donge, and they go wide now to Makala, who's stepping nicely. Can he stay in field? Yes, he can. Kuravoli, out it goes to Ndonge, the replacement tight head. They get a penalty advantage, Fiji. This game is still alive as Matavesi linked to Radradra, and that's a lovely ball to Naisalevu, up against Johnny May, round Johnny May, just short of the line is Naisalevu. May just did enough to stop him scoring in the corner, but here goes Ravai, and Penny Ravai scored for Fiji, and this one is definitely still alive. We've got some Australia fans who have crossed out the Wallabies and written Fiji on the back of their shirts. They're on their feet. Certainly the neutrals' favourites, Fiji. Good try, Fiji. Penny Ravai, and England still have work to do, Chris Ashton.
Yeah, great try for Fiji. Just perfect rugby, side to side. Semi Radradра's come in from his wing. He was involved in it twice, 2 involvements, long balls over the top, which would prove vital for how Fiji scored the ball in the end. And then the substitutes coming on. Front row impact. What a try.
And conversely, where's the impact from England's bench? It was Carl Sinclair giving the penalty away, so of course the advantage goes to Fiji, and it lit them up. They think, right, we've got a freebie, we're away.
Kuravoli for an extra 2. That's going to sneak in. Okay, it's a one-score game all of a sudden in Marseille. England 24, Fiji 17.
Yeah, we're just stepping out of the car now, just for a little moment. We're going to get out of the passenger seat and all the drivers and just maybe wash it for a little bit, just to see what it's looking like.
Just when you're in complete control. I said they can always score. They're always going to score tries. That's what they've done this whole tournament, and that will fill them full of confidence scoring a try like that.
Change for England in the back line. I think Lawrence on, with Johnny May off, so Marchand then goes to the wing. So Marchand to the wing and Ollie Lawrence to centre. He's having a good World Cup, Ollie Lawrence, in little cameos mainly, but always efficient and impactful as Fiji get away down the left touchline through Semi Radradra. He's up to and over the halfway line. On Fiji, have a bounce in them now. Bottia, there are numbers to the right for Fiji. Kuravoli, penalties coming to the Fijians. Kuravoli couldn't get it as Botita kicks for himself. He thinks he was checked, as do the crowd, but England with the ruck form put their hands in, and the neutrals and the Fiji fans, the French who are in this crowd, who are only supporting one team, they feel there could have been more there as Botita kicked and was checked, and they're going for goal now, Fiji, to cut the gap from 7 to 4.
It's got that little feel of Wales-Argentina, where momentum shift, didn't it? All of a sudden the Argentinians were just rallying and Wales went into a little bit of a spin of, oh no, what's happening here? Just keep doing what you're doing, Ashley.
I can only apologise to Semi Radradra. Said he didn't look fit first half.
He didn't look fit there, did he?
Oh wow, that is outstanding.
30 seconds.
2 10-metre passes creating the try, and then up the touchline, brushing off forwards, and I think he might be sending Marcus Smith off here because he's ran over him Mike Cat styles.
They're going for goal. Kuravoli with 10 seconds left of the shot clock. He's got to get on with it. He's going to be okay. 24-17. This to cut the gap to 4. Up he steps. Beautiful strike. Is it fading away? It's hit the post again. I can't believe it. But it's back in Fiji possession through Matavesi. And the crowd are now really into this quarter-final, as Fiji have territory. They didn't kick the penalty goal, but they do have the ball inside England's 22. 20 metres out in centre field. Kuravoli waiting for it. The ball is so slow for Fiji, but it is coming back for Fiji. To the right they come. And Tuasova, who's on the right touchline, tackled by Kerr, who shows good strength to keep Tuasova in check. 22, Kuravoli. Ndonge, the tight head. These replacement Fijian front rows have made a big difference. Botitu is caught on the 22 as Marla tries to steal, but still there for Fiji. It is getting really loose. This is how Fiji might like it. Tuasova and Tuolangi combine, or collide really, as Fiji are forced back to the 10-metre line and Albert Tuasui has to carry. Decent defensive set, but it's a penalty advantage. England tackle high. Radradra, great offload away, and Fiji are going to score, and they're going to go level, are they? Botitu has scored. Unbelievable stuff in the velodrome as Fiji comes storming back into this quarter-final.
Semi Radradra again, after chaos phases for Fiji. He somehow powers through 2 players and finds an offload, and then they're just tearing through the Fijians. Trying from nowhere.
England can't get hold of the ball. They can't get hold of the ball, and it's frustrating them. It's you cannot defend against this style of Fijian attack for multiple phases in the 60th minute. They have to get control of the ball at some stage. I think we're looking for a... No, there was a potential forward pass, but no, referees...
What a try.
Amazing try.
Got it away to...
They just don't miss those opportunities, do they?
But it's the lock. Nasilasila comes onto the ball and then links with Botitu, who's been great today. And this kick from Kuravoli will put Fiji level. England 24, Fiji 22. England were in Paris with a 14-point lead. But these Fijians can score 14 points just like that. And Kuravoli to level the scores. He's kicked it. It's 24 all in the World Cup quarter-final. Remarkable scenes in the velodrome. 2 converted Fiji tries. They look completely out of it, Fiji. And now England need to summon something at 24 all with 70 minutes gone.
Remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. England in complete control of this game, very similar to yesterday with Wales and Argentina. And Fiji have summoned from the gods. The last 10 minutes have been incredible.
Their bench have been brilliant, haven't they? The front rowers, the replacement 9, Kurivoli, who's half charged down, and this will sit up for Marcus Smith, who's got a tape job and no number on his back because his shirt was so blood-soaked. Now England, what are they going to do? They're going to keep playing. Farrell, oh, that was almost intercepted, but Laws did well. Courtney Laws over the 10-metre line. There for Danny Kerr. That slowish ball for Kerr, but he finds Carl Sinclair, who just runs straight into the Fijians. There's Ben Earl, that's brilliant from Earl, he throws a dummy. How good is that from Earl? He's to within 15 metres. Kerr goes left, maybe should have gone right, but Tuolangi, oh, Daly could have walked it in. Still Tuolangi, 3 metres out. Good response, England, to that Fiji blitz. 8.5, 9 minutes to go. 24 all in Marseille. Kerr with 3 metres to go to the line. Finds Quinn's clubmate Marler. He's 2 metres short. Can England reply with a 7 to calm the nerves? Great pick up, Courtney Laws. The pass was low from Kerr. 5 metres out, England still. Just to the left of the post, 24 all. Farrell out to Smith. Marcus Smith dummies, then he is just melted by 2 Fijian defenders. Do England think drop goal to just get the lead?
Yes, they do.
Or do they keep playing? George Martin sets it up. Kerr out to Itoje. Maro Itoje 6 metres out. Farrell may think drop goal. Back to Farrell. He drops for the lead and he belts it through. And England lead again. And it's Owen Farrell with the drop goal. England 27, Fiji 24.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant from England. Maybe a couple of phases too long for my liking, but it's in his mind. Fantastic play from Owen Farrell. Clear, precise. This game, I don't think, is over.
Ben Earl instigated all that, just picking the ball up from the ruck, making a half break, getting through, getting his nose through, allowing everyone else to flow onto it after that.
Do it.
But yeah, we're far from over here, aren't we?
Yeah, brilliant footwork from Ben Earl. Tremendous, loads of momentum. I saw Kyle Sinclair just sort of giving that sign to say, just calm down, we're 5 metres, relax, let's go through our process. Brilliant to see from Kyle.
Well, England 27, Fiji 24, 8 minutes to go. Extra time of 10 minutes each way. And then a further 10 minutes each way before a kicking competition, just in case it does go that far. But England have a
2 sets of 20 minutes.
Yep, just reading the tournament guidelines. Extra time, and then not off the normal extra time, a 5-minute break, and further extra time of 10 minutes. Have England been forced out? I think they have. I mean, we talk about extra time. England lead, but if Fiji score next with a try or a converted try...
I'm not feeling that Fiji are going for a drop goal to level the game here.
The 13 is here, so it's still the 13.
Yeah, they're going to kick from 20 metres. And they're going to throw into the line out of 20 metres, Sam Matavesi.
Fiji, 5. No, replay.
Fiji have lost Josh to Isova too. That tackle with Tom Curry has finally had an impact on him. He's had to leave the field.
Matavesi to throw the line out 20 metres out for Fiji. They win it in the middle. It's then been lost. It's on the England side, so England spoil the line out. And I think England might just want the scrum. Marler's just standing up as if to say, I'll just take the scrum.
Great spoil, George Martin.
What we say in the changing room.
Niggling away. Itoje niggling away.
That's
showing some real composure after a fairly hair and scarum 10 minutes. Set piece should be solid for England. These are one of those moments where you actually don't mess about with it. Don't give the referee an opportunity. You know, you don't want it wheeled. You don't want to be driving it forward. This is rock solid clearance. Unless it's so blatantly obvious you're going to get the penalty, England can't risk
73 minutes and 13 seconds gone. If you were just joining us on 5 Live, England were 24-10 up. Then a Fiji blitz made it 24 all. But a Farrell drop goal has put England 3 ahead. But they're deep in their own half and prepared to feed the scrum through Danny Kerr. Can England win a scrum penalty to relieve the pressure? They're going to work on the Fiji scrum. It's crumpled. It's really crumpled, and referee Reynal will do a reset.
This is what we're talking about, Chris. This is the risk. England can't be doing this. The ball's got to be in and away. Billy Vunipola, get your hands on the ball, get in play, take the risk out of this scenario very quickly.
Does this take you back, Matt Dawson, to 20 years ago? We spoke all day yesterday about these games being on a knife edge, little moments, and how your whole World Cup destiny can hinge on something so small.
This is very, very simple. Danny Kerr needs to be having his signal to Billy Vunipola to say, get that ball up and get it away. We know exactly where we're going. 8-pick, get it in field. Tuolangi coming in to secure quickly.
The threat is Bottia off the scrum. On Billy, like a flash, that is the threat.
England peel away Billy Vunipola, who's on at number 8, and they're exactly as what Chris Ashton said is Bottia. But Billy Vunipola's done well, England have done well. They have to get their exit right now, England. They lead by 3 with 5 minutes to go in Marseille. England 27, Fiji 24. And all of these quarterfinals, as we thought, are going right down to the wire. Kerr kicks, he's gone for touch rather than distance, but it's given a lovely platform now for Fiji. 30 metres out, they'll throw into the line out.
Yeah, I mean, it just needed a solid whack down the field there into the 5 metre channel. Just turn Fiji, boot it down there, get England's chase. Fiji cutting the line out to 4 men, trying to secure the ball, keeping it easy for themselves. Just about secure it.
They've got it, Fiji. Mankala drives on into centre field, 30 metres out. Caravoli, he almost got it away, and Massey would have been in, but England come away with it through Earl. Here goes Ben Earl, over halfway, he's still going. What an extraordinary run from Earl. Those margins again so fine. They've got to go left, England, they've got a penalty, and that surely will be the semi-final for England. With 4 minutes left, they've just got to show some composure. Kerr is caught, but he's 20 metres from the Fiji line, where Fiji was so close to going in, but Ben Earl saved the day. Fiji are off their feet, and Owen Farrell will take every single one of these 60 seconds with under 4 minutes to go. England 27, Fiji 24, but England have a kick right in front of the post.
On the ground, clearly, and on the
Can you
ground.
imagine all those
and second
hours,
here, you've got a clear
days, months of training. You know, the pain that you go through to get into a World Cup competition, it hurts so bad, and yet to be able, and that's for the one moment Ben Earl had there, where just to accelerate away and give it absolutely everything for 50-60 metres was brilliant. Incredible fitness.
But how close were Fiji, Ashley? Massey was in. If that had gone to hand,
that is the line that they tread.
The margins are brutally fine. Under 3 minutes to go. England fans are on their feet. England will be given the fright of their lives. It's not over yet.
Owen Farrell looking at the clock, deliberately looking at the clock.
Here's that experience of Farrell, 110 caps and counting. He is waiting for the clock to go down. That's canny from the England skipper. He lamps it through. England 30, Fiji 24. And unless Fiji score a converted try now, England are going to the semi-finals.
Well, if there's one team on this planet that are capable of doing it, that's Fiji. They've got to get the ball first, though.
Well, extra time now seems incredibly unlikely because Fiji would have to kick 2 penalties. There's not enough time for that, but England have lost it forward. So those 2 extra time periods and then sudden death, I don't think that's happening, but Fiji will have one last shot at glory. Owen Farrell is talking to Mathieu Reynal, and Joe Marler just says chill. Here we go then, Chris Ashton. England 30, Fiji 24. England needs the scrum of their lives, as do Fiji, because with the likes of Masi and Mangala, Naisalevu and Semi Radradra, they can score a converted try in an instant. We've seen it in the second half. 90 seconds to go at the Velodrome. England 30, Fiji 24, and some of the England fans around us are too nervous to sing. The scrum is in between the 10-metre line and the 22. It's just to the right of the post, and there is now just over a minute left. Fed by Kuravoli, the scrum is solid. England have to come up with something defensively. As Mata holds it in, does Mata knock that forward? It's peeled round, and it will be a reset.
What are they doing?
Fiji.
What are Fiji doing there? What else the number 8 waiting for? Scoop the ball up and get it in play.
Can we make sure
they hold the ball? Jeepers. Honestly, I mean, listen, the brain is mulch in it right now. When you put so much into it, there are some crazy things that creep into your mind.
The problem here now is that the Fijian scrum's edge 2 metres in feed, so we've had to get Owen Farrell onto this short side, which makes it an even bigger threat on the open side.
Listen to the noise around the Velodrome. There are 20 seconds left. England 30, Fiji 24. A converted Fiji try wins it. But if England hold firm, they go to Paris, they go to the semi-finals, and they'll be there next Saturday night against South Africa or France, who meet in a few hours' time in Paris at the Stade themselves. And now the clock is 2 seconds away from going dead. Fiji will not be able to make a mistake. They may have to do it in this phase of play. Steve Borthwick was patrolling the coach's box. Simon Raului looking that bit calmer, knowing that all he can do is hope that his players can come up with something magical, something famous, and something that will live on in Fiji rugby folklore forever. 2 seconds to go. The scrum again goes down.
Bind!
And the referee implores the players to bind and set. As Kuravoli of Fiji prepares to feed. As England try and get a nudge on, but he's got a quick heel, Kuravoli. Can he get it away? Yes, he can. Naisalevu's almost up to 22. England bodies despairingly on the turf. There for Kuravoli, he's not got many options. He goes right to Ndonge. England need to come up with something. George is in there. Courtney Law's trying to steal. Fiji, 25 metres out through Botti. A big tackle coming in by Earl. 30-24 England lead. The time is up. It's now or never for Fiji. It's now or never for England defensively. No penalties, the order of the day. Discipline. Hope that Fiji make a mistake as they drive on once more to the 22. Kuravoli out to his forwards, and England so far so good in this defensive set. We're deep in added time. If the ball is lost, England are in the semi-finals. 6 points in it, 30-24. Semi Radradra goes wide, picked up off his shoes by Mangala. Across comes Ollie Lawrence, good tackle Lawrence. England have forced Fiji to around about 40 metres from the line. And the sting has gone out this Fiji attack. But we know they can do something from nothing. So England have to keep their discipline. They have to stay firm. As the forwards for Fiji drive on once more. 6 points in it. 90 seconds of added time played. Here's Semi Radradra, who sparked so much of this. Big tackle coming in on Mira.
What a tackle,
what a tackle, Danny Kerr, putting his body on the line, the veteran. Still 6 points in it, and this has been good so far from England. They're quick off the line to make the tackle. They're forcing Fiji back to halfway. So Fiji need to conjure something up. Sam Matavesi, Botita goes wide, Lawrence ever so slightly out of position. Over the halfway line go Fiji. 30-24 England lead. Across Kuravoli scampers the scrum half. Out it comes to Darren Alangi. In goes Lawes, but no, says referee Ray now. 13 phases, shades of Paris last night. 6 points in it though, Fiji. They've got to score. England have to hold firm. Batitu, there's a good read from Lawrence. Can they get it wide? No, it's been knocked on, has it, by Farrell. That will be it. Earl has dived on it.
We'll check it.
And unless Farrell's done that deliberately, that is going to be the game. They're just going to check
if it's a
whether Farrell's
knock-on
knock-on was deliberate or not. Still we go on in the Velodrome. England think they've won, but it's not sure yet. Because in the tackle, Farrell knocked it forward. If the referee deems this deliberate, it's a penalty, it's maybe a yellow, and we will play on with a Fiji penalty. Brilliant defensive set by England.
It's coming up on screen now for you, Matthew.
And it's given everyone that rest, isn't it, after that monster set of phases.
Here's a replay. Through goes Farrell. He's
in trouble. He's got to be in
that's
trouble.
That's a deliberate knock-on.
It's a deliberate knock-on. It's going to be a yellow card, I think, as well.
Is there an opportunity of line break beyond that? Yes,
no different than Aaron Smith last night for New Zealand, was it?
Give me the wide angle, please.
Let's listen in. Owen Farrell is talking now. He can't believe it.
It's coming up on screen now, Matthew. Hang on.
And now they're just checking whether it's a yellow card as well for Farrell, who thought he had led his team to the semi-final. He still might.
Back.
He's saying he's going with a tackle.
He's not in position to receive the ball, so I will say on penalty kick only.
The pass was never going to get to 20.
So
let's listen in.
So that's a deliberate knock-on for me, so that's a penalty kick against you.
You don't think there was a line break opportunity?
No, because, can you put it again on the screen? Because he's not in position to catch the ball, the Fijian player. So I don't think there is a line break opportunity. Are you agree with that, Ben?
I think the assistant referees have come in just to say, hold on a minute,
so
maybe there's another angle, another process about whether it was deliberate.
Okay, we are 4 minutes after the 84 minutes gone. Penalty Fiji, it's deep in their own half, but Botitu can kick. Oh, he doesn't really get that one, and that's a bit of relief for England. Danny Kerr tries to G up his forwards. Owen Farrell hasn't been sin bin because there wasn't a line break opportunity, as there was, I suppose, for Ireland last night with the Aaron Smith one. Matabasi to throw, just inside the England half. He goes to tail. George Martin gets up. It's loose ball for Fiji, but they still have it, and still we play on in the Velodrome. England 30, Fiji 24. Fiji have to go 50 metres, but if any team can, it's this set of flying Fijians. Kuravoli the 9. Out to replacement Lucid Rabbi, who scored one of their tries and made a big difference off the bench. England just have to hold their discipline. Penalties will give Fiji a chance. Earl is in there. How good's he been today, Ben Earl? Out it comes again to Derelangi of Fiji. It's slow, it's ponderous for Fiji as Laws tries to steal. He's won the penalty, and England are in the semi-finals of the World Cup. Look at the reaction from the fans. England put through the ringer by a brilliant Fiji comeback. At 24-10, England look destined for Paris. They've got to Paris, but how they've been pushed.
Can I speak?
A Farrell drop goal, a Farrell penalty, drama right to the last. Courtney Laws with the key turnover. Farrell kicks it out. England almost two times to celebrate. Manu Tuolangi's down on his knees. Courtney Laws on his haunches. Fiji bodies strewn across the turf as well. What a contest in the Velodrome. And Reynal is wanting it retaken. And this time Farrell kicks it out with even more force. And England are in the World Cup semi-finals. Not huge celebration from England. Respect for the brilliant Fijians who know how close they've got. But it's England who before the tournament struggled so much for form, so much for identity. They've won their pool and then they've beaten Fiji here in Marseille. How well did Fiji come back, but England just had enough. And it will be England who go to the semi-finals of the World Cup and a meeting with South Africa or France. Matt Dawson.
Yeah, just watching the Fiji players just strewn across the field. Heartbroken, nothing left in the tank. They gave it their best shot without question, but England were magnificent in that first half. They had a dodgy 10 minutes, but all in all, that's by far the best England performance we've seen for a number of months. Their defence at the end there, superb, because of the threat of Fiji, whether it was 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 metres out, had to be on your guard to watch against any type of offload, and England were tight They were strong, they were committed. Fair play to England, fair play to Fiji, but my goodness me, I think England deserved that. On to the semis.
A third epic quarter, a third quarter final that's gone right to the wire, Sonia. But England are going to Paris. England 30, Fiji 24.
And tension writ large in this stadium for the England fans is released. That turnover from Courtney Lawes, and hotly followed by eventually the ball kicked into touch. England could celebrate, and as Matt Dawson mentioned, that there was Wasaya Nyasaleva, the Fijian captain, just distraught, pleading with the referee, could not believe that Lawes had won that turnover. And the Fijian players were on their knees. Chris Ashton, just explain to me what goes through the minds of the England players when the fatigue is just palpable and you have to keep your cool in those closing minutes of that match, just waiting for one of your players to do what Courtney Lawes did and win that turnover.
Yeah, England's defence at the end was outstanding. They were knocking Fiji back, knocking them back and knocking. The problem is with Fiji, if they already think about the offload around your back before they've even taken into contact, so it's just a threat at any point, and that's how they scored the 2 tries in the second half. They did exactly that, but England did enough. The back row for England was outstanding today. Courtney Lawes, Ben Earl, they were everywhere. Just any bit that was created, a positivity or momentum came from those two. We need exactly the same next week.
Correspondent Chris Jones has disappeared. He hasn't left the building. He's gone down to the tunnel area where he will get the reaction from these England players who are into a Rugby World Cup semi-final to play either France or South Africa, who meet in Paris this evening at 8 o'clock. And the England fans, frankly, they're just celebrating now as a chorus of Hey Jude rings out around the stadium. There's a bit of confetti being thrown around. The players are on the pitch. Handshakes all round. Matt, you mentioned fatigue a lot in that last 5 minutes. We saw it in New Zealand against Ireland last night, where Ireland were throwing the kitchen sink at the All Blacks, and the All Blacks knew they just had to hold them out and not give away a penalty. How difficult is that to do in those moments? England had to do the same thing here. Do not give a penalty away.
Yeah, and I say that it was their fitness, their mentality around defence was superb in those last passages of play. And Fiji would have had the energy to sort of pounce on an opportunity, but actually the set-piece plays at the end of the game for Fiji just didn't suit them, because England's line was out there, and it's so difficult to break the line from first and second phases. Fiji needed the game to be broken up. Actually, when the ball got loose, when England made a tackle and Owen Farrell had that little intentional knock on, actually that's the danger moment for England, because it gets loose and you're out of system. But Fiji couldn't get out of system. England were perfectly in system and really looked, well, I seem to remember Fiji were near enough at the 22 at one stage and ended up being closer to their own 10-metre line because of the brilliant defence from England.
Was there a bit of you were going, oh no, please let this narrative not be? Owen Farrell gives away a penalty, potential yellow card, Fiji go down the other end of the pitch and score. Because that flashed into my head, because I just thought, oh God.
Not in the slightest, no. He played really well today, Owen. There were a couple of opportunities early on where you thought just needed to go through the hands. I think he was just finding his feet in the game, but actually, he marshalled the troops very well. He kicked his goals. The strategy of England, going through a phase, if it's not on, belting it into the air. Owen is probably better than George Ford at that, so Steve Borthwick, absolutely right selection.
We inevitably have Sweet. Do you like Sweet Caroline, Chris Ashton?
Yeah, who doesn't?
I don't. Because we hear it constantly now at rugby union matches. The Fijian captain, Wasaya Naiasalevu, is now wearing white jersey. He's done a jersey swap, and we have the Fijian players in a huddle. The England players are in a huddle. What's that feel like, to be in that huddle when you know you're in a World Cup semi-final?
Oh, it must be lovely, Dawes, that.
It's a very nice feeling.
Considering where we were 5-6 weeks ago.
Correct. I think the conversation is going to be very different. I like and I know they're going to go for the stereotypical lap of honour to the fans.
You hate a lap of honour, don't you?
Hate it. Hate it without a trophy. But, you know, their celebrations were slightly calmed down, other than obviously Ben Earl gave us his traditional pump to the crowd, which is, you know, now what we expect, which is great. But actually, for the rest of the players, it feels to me that's not job done. It's okay, we're in the semi-final, let's regroup over the next couple of days. What you wouldn't want to do is that be one of the dirt trackers and have to do a load of fitness session,
which is
like
what's
Billy
going on,
Vunipola
right?
and Theo Dahan and George Ford sitting there doing some reps.
What's really interesting is, because I mentioned this as the game came to that dramatic conclusion to producer Adam here, Billy Vunipola didn't get on the pitch, did he? Throughout the entire... Did he get on?
Yeah, he got on.
Right towards the end, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, but Ben Earl, how good? Best player on the pitch for England,
he's just everywhere. I think that it's hard to single Ben out. He was outstanding because he has his moments in attack where he just created momentum for England's attack twice. Once on the turnover where he had a 50-60 metre break where he's so fast he got away from everybody, and the second one where he just used his rugby brain. The ball was free at the back of the ruck and he picked it up and away he went. We need more players like that, more to play what they're seeing. Ben's become more and more into implementing his own game on the England team as the tournament's gone on. But the whole back row today were just as we needed them to be because of the threat that Fiji had with Botia. They were on everything, and every time Fiji wanted the ball, wanted quick ball, wanted to chuck an offload, one of the back row lads were there and they were on it, and that's probably why Steve has left Billy Vunipola on the bench and gone with the three back rows that we have.
Yeah, it's really interesting because you always think pick an England team, an England pack. It's going to have a big old ball-carrying number 8, right? And they haven't really gone with that model, have they, under Borthwick? What do you make of the way they've gone about that in that back row, Matt?
It's a lovely balance for me. I mean, they've still got plenty of bulk in Courtney Laws. Tom Curry is, he's not a mouse by any stretch of the imagination. Ben Earl, yes, will be a little bit smaller than Billy Vunipola, but he's so dynamic, so fit, brings a dimension to the game. And when you're playing against these top players, as England will find out next week against France or South Africa, having that mobility, having that agility with the back row across the field, multiple players able to pilfer the ball is now absolutely vital.
Just seeing a shot of Owen Farrell in the England huddle, and you did not need to be a lip reader to kind of work out the raw emotion that was coming from the England skipper. So by contrast, obviously, we've just seen the Fijian players in a huge huddle with a lot of their backroom staff. The photographers have been in there. There are tears streaming down the faces of some of those Fijian players. Just give me a sense of how much they contributed to the drama we saw, Chris, in that last 15 minutes. They suddenly came alive, didn't they?
Yeah, and that was always going to happen with Fiji, the way they've been this tournament. I mean, just the past 2 months, they've beaten England, they've beaten Wales, they've beaten Australia. They more than deserve to be here. I think when you get to this stage in the competition, you have to kick your penalty goals. You have to be finding touch when you've got a penalty and you're going for a line out. You've got to kick the ball more than... They were kicking some of them 10, 15 metres. It's just, you're completely losing your advantage. And like Dorso alluded to, they actually prefer the game to be open, whereas England want a set-piece battle. So every time they got a penalty, they looked under pressure the whole time in the line-out. And if he kicks his 2 penalties today, it's a different game.
Was this in a sense, and this is no disrespect meant to Fiji, but was this in a sense their final, getting to this quarter?
I'm not so sure, I'm not so sure. Maybe in other World Cups when they've been in quarterfinals, then possibly. But I don't know. They had enough today. They had opportunities, chances that Chris has just mentioned there, to win this game. They're players in that group that are used to winning quarterfinals. They are not scared of semi-finals. They're not scared of the big teams. They didn't create enough in the first half. They had a couple of opportunities.
I need to interrupt you, and I apologise for that, but Chris Jones is with the England captain.
Yeah, and he's live on 5 Live. Owen, a World Cup semi-final. You've led your team there. How proud are you of your side?
Yeah, massively proud. I think it was a hard-fought game. Like everybody will see that they're a tough team to play against. You're never home and dry playing against Fiji. I thought we did a good job in the first half. Plenty of stuff to still work on, but I thought it was a good fight to grind the win in the end.
What did you say to your team when Fiji came storming back and took it to 24 all?
No, he didn't have to say much. We was clear. There's a few things to fix up, but the main thing was getting after the next moment, and I thought we did that after conceding the 2 tries. As I said, they're a team that can hurt you from anywhere, but I'm glad that we was able to stay mentally strong enough to get into position to win the game.
The drop goal always on your mind today?
No, it was 24 all.
Silly question.
It was 24 all. It was in there 22. We needed to come away with points, and the forwards got us on the front foot. We actually pulled the trigger a bit too early with the backs and got caught behind the gain line, and they got us on the front foot towards the post again. And Danny was pretty in sync. I think he called it before me, so he got the ball to me, and thankfully he got it over.
There's so much drama to come. Fiji attacking. You thought it was over with the knock-on that was deemed a penalty. So many thoughts, I imagine, going through your mind at that point.
Yeah, not ideal. Yeah, I wish it didn't happen, but I looked back at the boys and a few of them said no problem, let's go. So that's the mindset that we had at that moment in time. We'd done it for 6 or 7 minutes before that, so we had another minute to go.
I know it's all about the team, Owen, and not about you, but there's so much debate around the England number 10 shirt and who plays where. So with that in mind, how important was you on an individual basis to put in a really strong performance?
Well, there's always debate, Chris. Always. It's a big talking point for everybody else. All I know is that this is a 33-man squad, and everybody's got a massive role to play throughout this All World Cup, and that'll not change going into next week. The boys who have different roles, who finish the game, are even those ones that haven't been involved today. They have massive roles during the week, and they have massive roles today in how this team feels, and that'll continue.
2-part question to finish. France or South Africa for you, and how much better will you have to be, whoever it is?
I'll start with the second bit. No, we know we've got a lot to work on. We know we're in a position where we've still got a long way to go to get to where we want to get to, but we'll get after that this week. And as far as the first question, who knows? I'm looking forward to watching it tonight.
The journey goes on for this team, many of whom might not play at a World Cup or for England again, and for these fans who have packed out the stadium again.
Yeah, no, it's been brilliant. The lads have been brilliant, and as I said, we'll get after this week. And as for the crowd, some atmosphere today. This is some place to play rugby.
You said you always wanted to play here, didn't you?
Always, yeah. And it made me want to play more when I watched that Argentina game. So I'm glad I got the chance to. But it's special that the England fans made it a day like today.
Nice to know and see you in Paris.
Cheers, thank you.
Cheers, mate.
Owen Farrell, the England captain, finally realised a dream by playing at this stadium, much like his dad did. There are some England fans away on the other side. It's like a disco. They are literally dancing together, having a high old time, waving their shirts in the air. Matt Dawson, Chris said in commentary, is the drop goal on? You went, of course it is! And it was Danny Carey, according to Farrell, who had the rugby smarts to call it before even the fly half saw it. That's good play from the 9, right?
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, listen, the decision makers for a reason, aren't they? That they are supposed to make decisions. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be front and centre. It just has to be more and more in these tight games. And there is a classic example, whether it's Argentina in the opening game, whether it's Fiji in the quarter-final and it's 24-all, changes the complexion of the game, mounts the pressure on the opposition. It has to be front and centre from the off, actually, and particularly when England are now going to be facing two incredibly good sides. They're going to have it front of mind.
Well, we've heard from the England captain, Owen Farrell. Let's hear from the England coach now with Chris. He's with Steve Borthwick.
Live with the England boss, who has led his team to the World Cup semi-finals. Steve, your nerves in those final few minutes?
Well, I thought the players handled some of the ebbs and flows of that game really well. I thought the controlled the game for large parts, and there was that period where they scored back-to-back tries. And I think what you're going to do is recognise here what a team Fiji are. Jam-packed full of world-class talent, power and pace, and they scored those tries in a way probably no other team in the world can score. But what our team did was find a way to get back ahead on the scoreboard and handled it in a really composed, mature, smart manner.
So even though some of the fans around us may have been getting comfortable at 24-10, you always knew that was coming from Fiji?
I think Fiji are always capable of doing that, and we saw that a few weeks ago, and I think the team's learned a lot and grown a lot over the last period of time, and I think within that game today you saw some really good rugby from both sides. Clearly I was very pleased for large part the way that the England team played, but I was particularly pleased with the way they handled that closing out the game.
Yeah, was that the bit that really stuck out for you? I was going to ask what was the most pleasing aspect of the game, but was it that final five, that defensive stand?
I think what stuck out for me more than anything else is the incredible support we've had. A lot's been written and said and spoken about what support we get. What I see is an England support that are right behind this team, that I think feel like they're part of this team. We certainly feel that way.
Some individuals really stand out. I know you'd want to look at the team, but your captain Owen Farrell, how pleased are you for him that he kicked his goals and led his side to this point of the World Cup?
I've been saying it right from the start. He's an incredible leader, an incredible player. He just rises to the biggest of occasions, and he led the team phenomenally well today. And you're right, you could talk about every one of the players in that regard of how well they played this evening, and the whole 33 was part of the preparation for that performance.
When you see a player like Ben Earl, Steve, who's had a bit of an up and down start to his Test career, a lot of caps off the bench, then fell out of favour, to see him doing what he's done tonight at this level, that must fill you as a coach with a lot of satisfaction.
Well, I think I'm really pleased for all the players. Let's not forget that this team was written off. There was lots of people saying this team wouldn't get out of the group, and then the team tops the group. Then saying we'd lose today, and they won today, and we're going to be written off again. I know this group of players was going to be written off again going into Paris. We'll make sure that we prepare well to do our very best next weekend.
Is that going to fire you and the team on? The fact that people might not give you a chance next weekend?
We concentrate on our preparation, Chris, as I've spoke to you all along. I said the team would be ready for September the 9th, and the team was ready for September the 9th. And the team is built through the tournament, and we will continue to build.
Cheeky question to finish, France or South Africa, do you think?
I'm looking forward to watching the game.
Thank you very much, Steve. Many congratulations. See you in Paris, and we have been joined by Ben Earl. We mentioned what a game he had. Ben, not many things in your career, I imagine, have topped that?
No, that's probably one of the best days of my career. I've not really had a feeling like that. Come the end of the game, relief. It's just surreal. It's not really sunk in yet.
What was going through your head when you went on that mad, 60-metre, or let's call it 80-metre dash?
I wasn't really.
Do you think you could have got there?
Well, when I got smoked from behind, I was that probably brought me back down to earth very quickly. But like I said, yeah, it's just surreal. I'm just so pleased for obviously pleased for the group, but certain individuals in this team that we owe them to have another couple of weeks playing in the England shirt, and we've given them that.
Been a big motivating factor then, the fact that there are some kind of greats of English rugby, 100 cappers who might not play much World Cup rugby or England rugby after this, and for you guys who've got a fair bit of your career ahead, you want to send them out in style, do you?
Well, I want to make the most of playing with those guys, like the chance to play with Courtney Laws, Owen, Dan Cole. These guys are greats to the game. Never mind English rugby, but I'm just so pleased for the group, so pleased for the staff. Now we've got 2 weeks of hard work.
Talk us through the next 24 hours then. The celebrations weren't, huge, were they? You may have been really tired after that defensive stand, but just talk us through how you mark this occasion, but you've got to get back to work because you've got an almighty opponent coming up next weekend.
Exactly. We'll enjoy the win. Don't know if there'll be too many drinks flying around tonight. I think there's some sore bodies, but travel to Paris tomorrow afternoon and then get ourselves prepared for whoever we're playing.
Now, you would have noticed all the talk about the sides of the draw and what's happening in Paris, what's happening down in Marseille. You're nodding along, you're aware of it. How much does the England team want to say, okay, we can go and beat one of the best in the world?
Well, after we played Fiji at Twickenham, some people were saying we weren't going to get out of the group, so we're in a World Cup semi-final, we're in the best 4 teams in the competition, so it's anyone's game now, isn't it?
Wish you well in Paris. See you there.
Very much. Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Us on at 5 Live Sport, David on Ben Earl says phenomenal, possibly one of the best back row performances in 20 years. Dorsey said it was the best day of his career in an England jersey. What sort of bounce now could this performance give England going into what is going to be a huge semi-final against potentially France or South Africa?
Well, let's hope that's the best game of his career so far. Yeah. And next week he can get even better. Fascinating to listen to actually all of those interviews, Owen Farrell and Steve Borthwick, then Ben Earl, all of them talking about the fact that they've been written off. We weren't getting out of a pool. We're going to be. It's just you're in the bubble. You're in your own little bubble. You think the world is against you because you've read the odd discussion point or an odd article that might give a different view. It's fascinating to hear, but that is the motivation. It's great that they use that for motivation, but they also need to understand that it really doesn't matter what outside influencers say. Forget about it. People are always going to knock England. You're wearing the white shirt of England that everybody on the rugby planet hates. It doesn't matter. Focus on what you're good at, as they are, and England will have a chance next week, because as much as the quarterfinals can be a little bit of a lottery sometimes, if you're in a semi, you know that you have an opportunity to win it.
Yeah, it was nice for him to actually mention the players that he's playing with. He went away from it a little bit, didn't he, about everyone's writing us off, although Steve loved it, was saying everyone's writing us off from the start. But he had to actually mention the lads that are not going to be here potentially for very much longer. Maybe that becomes the focus now this week. The lads are going to be potentially playing their last game for England, and they have been greats of English rugby for the past 10 years. Some 100-cap players that potentially are not going to play again. So if that becomes the motivation, then so be it. Like I say, it doesn't matter what it is, just find it and use it.
You and I both looked at each other when we've got a busy 2 weeks coming up.
Ambitious. It's ambitious.
Oh no, they're going to be in a 3rd and 4th playoff anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are here till the end of the tournament. That's what he meant.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm talking about some of those players who perhaps playing in this England team for not much longer. Danny Kerr, as cameos go, I could go, if that famous beard did cameos. Danny Kerr is doing okay, isn't he? He's made a real impact in the last 2 matches. Your old mucker, Chris, on the Rugby Union Daily.
Yeah, he has. He's doing it. I mean, he's using his experience. That's what he's there for, to come off the bench and just control the game. He's got obviously a great game understanding, so he knows what's needed at the right time, whatever stage the game is. We saw him today come and make a couple of big tackles on the touchline, because that was what was needed at that time. If you've got someone coming off the bench with not as much experience, and not even experience, he has experience of coming on as a substitute, which Dawson, is a very different mental place to be, coming off the bench as a sub, especially into this environment.
Yeah, it was as if he would have been watching the game carefully. Lots of messages would have been going via Danny Kerr, but as a scrum half or a fly half particularly, you're always, when you're on the bench, you're always assessing where England can get better. Where can you improve? It might be, and tonight was a good example where Danny was just thinking, I need to organise the defence, I need to hold that short side, and when it comes down, I need to personally step up and be superhuman in defence against people that are probably double the size of him, and it wasn't a game about Danny running, it was more about his defence today.
Now this could be interesting because Chris is with Ellis Genge. Never a dull moment.
Yep, you're live on Radio 5 Live, Ellis. We've heard from Owen Farrell. Yep, back home.
Back in the car.
Yeah, everyone back in the car. Yeah, they'll be very proud listening into you live on 5 Live. What was that like watching the final few minutes after you've been taken off? Tough watching?
Yeah, not good for the heart, that. After you've had a fair bit of caffeine as well, the tickers going good and proper. I've been in that situation before with Coley, I can remember, at the Prem final, same look on his face. So look, the hard work starts now for us. I just want to say that Fiji, absolutely unreal opponents. We had them a few weeks ago at our stadium, and we knew what we had to do to front up today, and honestly I'm tattered and torn now, so yeah, take my hat off to Fiji.
You mentioned you were sitting next to Dan Cole. Do you just look at each other and go, this is tough?
He don't give me much, and he just raises his eyebrows and he stays reasonably cool, but yeah, obviously over the moon to get to the World Cup semi-final.
Given the way Fiji came back and then you edged back ahead and then you had that big defensive stand, what does that say about the group that you were able to keep it sounded like Fiji out at the end?
Look, we fight for each other. I think that's been built over. You got to go through some adversity to get to that. You can't just pretend to have that, and I think that's what we were doing probably a few months ago, pretending that we had that sort of group narce, if you will, that like really sticking together, and it takes time to build that. But by no means a finished article, but we definitely graph for each other now, and hopefully that's what we see come to fruition in the next few games.
Yeah, how far do you think you've come over the last few weeks?
Massive, obviously, leaps and bounds. You see it. Like I said, there's still a lot of work to do. If you're playing against Fiji and you think they're not going to try and come back like that, you'd be naive to think they're not going to chuck an offload and stick. They're the best in the world at it. That's why they've come so far as a team, so we're probably a bit upset that we let it slip away, but like I said, you see the boys fight like that, it puts a lot of hope.